And the latest on illegal immigration, the government has announced more foreign criminals will be deported before they are allowed to appeal.
Criminals from 23 countries will no longer be able to delay their deportation by appealing against the decision to remove them.
The Home Office claims it'll stop 3,000 offenders working the system, clogging up prisons and dragging out appeals.
However, as the former Justice Secretary Alex Chalk has slammed the move, warning rapists and violent criminals could walk free abroad on taxpayer-funded flights.
Your views very welcome. Meanwhile, more than 1,100 small boats have crossed the English Channel illegally since the new UK-France partial returns deal came into operation, with GB News provisional figures showing 281 arrived on 5 boats yesterday.
Sir Keir Starmer's Chagos Islands deal will cost 10 times more than he claimed, now reaching £35 billion.
JD Vance declares that President Trump will force Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky into direct talks to end the war. But he dismisses calls by European leaders for the Ukrainian president to join the Alaska summit.
And as it emerges that MPs rake in at least £830,000 a year in rent, we're asking, is it appropriate for MPs to be landlords?
And in sport this morning, Crystal Palace won the Community Shield by beating Liverpool on penalties, but they await another big result later today. Sheffield Wednesday fans protested at Leicester over their dodgy ownership. And in golf, veteran, if I can call a 45-year-old a veteran, Justin Rose has won his first PGA title in 2 years.
Hello there. The fourth summer heatwave officially beginning across parts of the UK. Find out all the weather details coming up soon.
Hello there, very good to see you on this Monday morning. Thank you for starting your day with us. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast.
We go. Do we say the football season's back again?
I think we do, don't we? I think so.
Or is
Championship
it next
is
week?
back. No, Championship and then the Premier League.
Championship's there, yeah.
Premier League is back next weekend. Spurs playing the Super Cup
on Wednesday.
Night,
and they play
in Paris Saint-Germain.
Oh, well, forget that.
A little bit shaky about the whole thing.
Yeah, well, there we go. That's that.
And the Super Cup's in Italy, is it?
In Udine.
And that's why you're going to Italy?
Yeah.
It's all making sense now. It's all coming together for me.
I've been sent to Trieste, which is like an hour away, and then I've got to go to there. I'm all over the place.
Oh, it's going to be so fun.
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to complain, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it'll be lovely. Go on a road trip. Italian road trip.
You're not going to be in later this week?
No.
Oh,
no, I'm upset
That's
too.
good news.
But you are going to talk to us down the line, aren't you?
Well, maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see.
We'll
see how things go. If we lose, no. If we win, maybe.
It's very, very hot.
I hear it's hot.
41 degrees, 42 degrees.
Oh, it's too hot.
Yeah.
I'm going to be all day in the middle of the crowds.
Yeah, you slap on the protection factor
I
anyway.
know, I'm going to be all burnt and red and... Oh,
it's going to be hot here anyway, so it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a heat wave here at home.
OK, fine.
So either way,
OK.
You'll be working.
So where are we with that? Shall I do it then or no?
You're going, yeah, and you're going to talk to us down the line. And it'll be nice.
Whatever your week has in store, please do enjoy it. It's 3 minutes past 6 o'clock and the government has announced that more foreign criminals will be deported before there is any appeal.
Yes, it's called the Deport Now, Appeal Later scheme, and it will see criminals from 23 countries no longer able to delay their deportation by pleas against the decision to remove them.
Elsewhere, it's been revealed by the Telegraph newspaper that Sir Keir Starmer's Chagos Islands deal, get this, is going to cost 10 times more than he actually claimed. Now, this is far higher than he said originally. It'll be £3 to £4 billion, right? But it's obviously nowhere near that. Political commentator Piers Pottinger joins us now in the studio. Piers, I just get very angry about this. I get very angry about Starmer either deliberately telling lies or just not telling the truth. What do you make of this?
Well, you're so right, Eamonn. I mean, first of all, the one thing with this government seems that they have no common sense. Everything they do or say they're going to do turns out not to be quite as they say. And when you look at the detail of any deal they do or anything they announce, it all looks somehow rather different.
Oh, did I say £3 billion?
Yeah,
I meant $3 billion a year.
Yeah.
I didn't mean over 20 years or whatever it is.
I mean, this is a shocking... I mean, the deal in itself was already shocking, and I'm quite surprised the Americans seem to support it, because
of course they support it, Piers. Sorry for interrupting here. Trump basically and Starmer, when they met up, Trump says, you got to do something to show me that you're behind us. And he goes, oh, yes, whatever. He says, pay for the Chagos Islands. And he did straight away. So, I mean, he's taking a bill away from the Americans. He's paying it on behalf of the Americans, and it shows we're all mates together.
Yeah, and it also shows that Starmer is a terribly weak leader. In fact, if you can call him a leader, which I personally doubt. But, I mean, the announcement, for example, about the deporting foreign criminals before they appeal sounds, oh, good idea. Why haven't they done that before? Send them home if they're foreign criminals. The problem is, when you look at it, this means they will have to come out of the European Human Rights Convention under, I think it's Rule 8,
right to a family life,
which they won't want to do. The second problem they've got is that the countries they deport them to have got to accept them, and they haven't agreed that yet. And the third thing is that I will believe this when it happens.
So, Piers, what you're saying is, in advance of all of this, this is obviously a lie.
Yeah.
This is now another saying that we're under the European Convention of Human Rights, and we will not be doing those things because, oh, Europe is stopping us doing it, which we all know. And what the solution has got to be, and that is to come out of the European Court of Human Rights.
Well, that would be helpful, but what they'll technically have to do is the term is resile, horrible word, resile Section 8. Which is about that everyone has a right to appeal before they are deported. And if they basically say we're not going to accept that and ignore that, that will itself provoke some reaction, inevitably. And, of course, all the human rights lawyers, which this country is flooded with, will be immediately jumping on potential bandwagons. And whilst this is, again, it sounds good, it's also interesting. They're making a lot of these kind of announcements at the moment when Parliament is in recess. So there isn't a proper debate about it. They're not being questioned properly about it. They're making these vague announcements that sound popular, sound good, but in reality, will they work? I mean, we have yet to see on the one in, one out, this great scheme. And the government last week put out a very sort of theatrical video about the people being detained when they arrived. We have yet to see anyone going back.
But again, it's the complications of who will accept them and if they accept them, because France and Europe have an effective veto.
Yeah, and when we send people back, France have got to agree to take them. Now, if I was a Frenchman, I would be thinking, wait a minute, why do I want the dregs of these people back? I don't want them. We've got rid of them. Leave them out of the country. So, again, and Macron, who's a very, very weak leader himself, and very much a lame duck president, doesn't want more problems, because immigration, if it's a big issue here, which it is, it's an even bigger issue in France. Politically, it's the #1 issue in France by a long way. And they've had 27 acts of parliament on immigration in the last 5 years. I mean, it's a huge issue there, which very often the British press forget, because the pressure is just as much, if not more, on the French politicians than it is here.
Piers, talking about pressure, there was that survey released yesterday which showed this is the most unpopular serving government there has ever been.
Yep.
So, obviously, Downing Street wakes up today in a spin. What can we do to make it sound as if we're in control of things? How long? I mean, is it possible that they may not see out the full term, or is that a done deal? Do they have
I mean, I think it would be hard for them not to see out the full term, although they may have to change their leader. The thing with the Labour Party at the moment is it's also disintegrating itself. It's splintering and cracking, and Starmer isn't in control of his own party. He's having to U-turn, make back-off policy decisions, and he's got the Corbynistas now setting up as a separate party, which won't help Labour. So if he didn't have such a big majority, I think he'd be out by now, because there'd be a vote of confidence which he'd lose. Because in every single department, everywhere you look, this government is failing, and it's no use just blaming the previous lot. It's what they're doing that isn't working.
Or they're not doing anything that's changing anything.
No.
Corbyn, interesting. I'm sure he never thought he'd hear his name again and talked in serious terms and headlines and whatever. And actually, he seems to be on a bit of a resurgence.
Well, yes, and then look who's back as well, Gordon Brown, telling Rachel Reeves what to do with the budget. And people should remember that Gordon Brown, so-called prudent Chancellor, was the man who sold Britain's gold reserves at the bottom of the market to Germany. The gold price when he sold it was under $200 an ounce. Today, it's $3,700.
My word.
And that's how much money he cost us. He wiped out our reserves. And one of the reasons that this country's finances are so bad and we borrow so much more than we should is entirely because of Mr. Brown.
OK,
gosh, you see, this is where I sit and think, you know, when people say, Eamonn, have you any money? I say, no, I don't have any money. You know, and you think, and you look at all those adverts that run on GB News and whatever about buying gold and silver and all that stuff. And I often think, but you say good investment, but you think, well, it's gone up from 300 to 3,000.
Yeah. Maybe we've missed the boat.
Missed the boat. So we'll not bother with all of that. That's what we should, be doing that.
Worth knowing. Thanks, Biz. You're back with us in the next hour. Thank you very much. Well, in response, the government spokesman has said that the Diego Garcia military base is essential to the security of the UK and our key allies and to keeping British people safe. The deal is supported by our closest allies, including the US, Canada, Australia and NATO. The costs compare favourably with other international base agreements, and the UK-US base on Diego Garcia is larger, in a more strategic location, and has unparalleled operational freedom.
All right, so what a lot of nonsense that is. So are we paying for all of it? Are we paying for some of it? Are we paying for part of it? What are we paying for? What do we get out of this? And are we only doing it because Trump said, do it? Because that's the reason we're doing it. But this, how much money, Piers, are we talking about?
34 billion.
Billion! And it was supposed to be 3 billion, and we're thinking, oh, that's a bit of a rip-off, 3 billion for that. 34 billion this is now going to cost. And is that over 77 years or something? Or?
Yeah, it's over a long period.
But I mean,
to give you an idea, it's bigger than the budget for the entire police in this country.
Yeah.
Gosh.
It's something like half...
Piers, come back and talk to us again.
I will.
You've heard what Piers has had to say, so you have your say today, and we'll put it to Piers. We'll put some of those points to Piers if you agree with him, disagree with him, after 7 o'clock.
35 billion. So that is equivalent to 10 Queen Elizabeth-class aircraft carriers, or more than half the annual school's budget. 10 times the original cost. Let us know what you think on that one.
And do you even know where Chagos is? I certainly don't. But was it off the coast of Africa?
The Indian Ocean.
In the Indian Ocean. There we are.
Yeah.
Could a potential peace deal between Russia and Ukraine be on the horizon this week? The Vice President in America, J.D. Vance, says that the US is in the process of scheduling when Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky can actually meet to discuss all of this between their two countries.
Well, it follows reports from the White House that President Zelensky could be invited to those talks with President Trump and Vladimir Putin in Alaska this week. Defence
analyst and former British Army officer, Lieutenant Colonel Stuart Crawford, joins us now. Stuart, it seemed, do you know what? I just feel silly saying, oh, and Zelensky could be invited. Dear God, how can you have talks without the man whose country they're walking all over and trying to steal isn't there?
Good morning. Yes, I mean, you're absolutely right. It's completely ridiculous to think that Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin can decide the future of Ukraine. without the Ukrainian people, through their president, having a say, and also without the rest of Europe having a say. Whether Putin, of course, will agree to meet with Zelensky is another thing altogether. I think Donald Trump sees himself as the great deal maker, but whether he can pull this one off, we'll just have to wait and see. But I would be surprised if Zelensky is involved personally, in person, at the bilateral talks currently being planned for Friday. I suppose it's always possible that he could join them remotely by video link, but I don't know.
Interesting, because when President Trump was talking to the press last week, before this meeting was actually scheduled for Friday, saying, look, I have been let down before. I mean, even he is sceptical about the idea of getting Putin around the table. And you can understand that, can't you? If you think about the war aims of President Putin, I mean, they haven't yet been achieved. He wants to destroy Ukraine. It hasn't yet happened. But they are doing well in this war, aren't they? They're on the front foot.
Well, I think that, I think it's optimistic to say that Russia's on the front foot. They have failed miserably in their initial aim, as far as we know it, which was to topple the Ukrainian government and replace it with a puppet government and to reabsorb, if you like, Ukraine into Greater Russia. That has failed miserably, nor are they making much progress on the battlefield. But on the other hand, the Ukrainians aren't strong enough to repel them and throw them out. So we have a stalemate, a political stalemate, as well as a military stalemate. And I can't see how it's going to end when Putin refuses to give up his war aims and Zelensky refuses to give up willingly any land that the Russians have captured in Ukraine, including Crimea, of course, which was annexed illegally in 2014.
Lieutenant, that Trump is basically saying he ain't paying for this war anymore. He's not putting any resources in unless he's getting hard cash, unless there's a business deal in this for him. And if he doesn't do that, that puts surely Ukraine in a much weaker position.
Well, that's not quite what J.D. Vance said. Vance said that Americans are no longer going to support Ukraine directly in terms of military hardware and support, but that they were happy to allow the Europeans to buy US military hardware and supply it to Ukraine. So he hasn't pulled the plug on military supplies. It's just the route has become changed through European nations. And of course, that will benefit the US defense industrial base immensely.
So where are we at? How do you see things, Stuart, in terms of if we stay the way we are, how long does this drag on for? Or without any sort of agreement coming next week, what do you think needs to be settled, finalised next week?
Well, I mean, my only hope, and it's a bit of a sort of forlorn one, is that they'll be able to arrange some sort of ceasefire, because peace negotiations really can't begin without a ceasefire, a cessation of hostilities along the whole of the front. That would be step number one. If that is achieved and it holds, then we can progress, one would hope, towards actually negotiating how the peace will be settled in terms of territory. And Trump's very keen that territory should be exchanged and some sort of compromise reached. But before any of that can be considered seriously, we have to have a ceasefire.
Okay. Lieutenant Colonel, thank you very much indeed. Stuart Copeland there, thank you very much. We've got to leave it there. Thank you.
Now, it looks like a lovely week weather-wise. Do you know we're in for a heat wave?
Is there what, sorry?
There's a heat wave this week. Something like 30 degrees by the end of the week.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Greg Dewhurst has got all the details.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. And it's a bit of a north-south split in the weather first thing this morning. Quite cloudy and damp across northern parts of the UK, but plenty of sunshine across England and Wales in particular. There are a few mist and fog patches through this morning. They should clear, and then generally for most it will be a dry day, plenty of sunny spells. The rain across Northern Ireland, Northern England will become increasingly confined to northern parts of Scotland as we move through into the afternoon. Still 1 or 2 heavier bursts possible across the Highlands here. Temperatures around 17 to 19 Celsius, but elsewhere feeling hot in the sunshine, the high 20s to low 30s, and that could potentially spark 1 or 2 thunderstorms as we move through into the evening time, something we need to keep an eye on. But that band of rain still giving some outbreaks of rain across northern Scotland through the evening, 1 or 2 heavy bursts possible, but elsewhere across Scotland, plenty of sunny spells, temperatures in the low 20s. Similar picture across Northern Ireland as well. 1 or 2 showers perhaps possible. Largely dry across England and Wales, but an increasing risk of 1 or 2 heavy showers or thunderstorms across the southwest. Just stay tuned to the forecast. There could be some localised disruption from this, but most places will stay dry. They will push slowly northwards as we go through the evening and overnight. Again, most places dry, but don't be surprised if you just get woken up by the odd rumble of thunder across parts of England and Wales into perhaps Northern Ireland too. Generally dry across Scotland, but further rain across Orkney and Shetland. And temperatures for most in double figures. A muggy start to Tuesday morning, but a bright start, plenty of sunny spells, any overnight showers starting to fade away, and then it should be another lovely day, plenty of hot sunshine. But again, into the afternoon, 1 or 2 thunderstorms are possible. Most places missing these, lots of dry weather to come, lots of sunshine, and temperatures most likely peaking around central southeastern parts at 33 degrees.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now do stay with us. Still to come, Paul Coit will be here with all of your sports news. That's next.
This is our country, and we think it's amazing. From high tea to the high street, we love it all. Even the rain, we like that too. There's nowhere else we'd rather be. That's why we're here to be the fearless champion of Britain, its voices and its values. Because we are GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently.
It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it?
It's explosive.
I mean, this is very good.
It's lively.
850. Your government sat there short and it did nothing.
It's controversial.
And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born.
It's everything you need to kickstart your evening.
Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it.
That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Dubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Now, here's a story about a doggy. We're all doggy people.
Oh.
And here's a
I'm
story.
ready and listening.
Right, and this is about a... Oh, wait a minute. You was reading about a ladder there. It was... well, oh, here we are. Right, the doggy. Right, OK.
Yeah.
There's a lady called Sarah Tillett who owns an Irish doodle Bodie. Oh. And Bodie got a tummy upset and had to go to the vets. And do you know what they found inside Bodie?
One of his toys.
No.
Lots of things, was it?
Lots of things. There were 8 items inside Bodie.
Big?
Depends.
Socks.
What?
Socks.
Panties.
Oh, I was close.
Right. 8 of them. Apparently the dog was addicted to women's underwear.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear, I agree with you.
Oh, dear.
Dear, dear, dear.
And an Irish doodle.
Was it feeling a little under the weather then?
Small.
Do you think so?
Could it be?
8 pairs of knickers is a lot.
Yeah.
Well, we can't offer you that. We don't want to offer you that. But
Are they large knickers or just those very small ones?
Either way, it's a
well,
lot
they
of knickers.
slipped down very easily, so they did. The Great British Giveaway. Have a go.
We want to send some of those monthly financial stresses packing this August with your chance to be mortgage or rent-free for 12 whole months. We'll give you a cash lump sum that equals 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to an amazing £20,000. We'll also throw in an extra £5,000 on top of that for good measure, because why not? And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you. We'll give you £15,000 tax-free cash instead. What are you waiting for? Lines will close on the 29th of August. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Good game at Wembley yesterday. Palace and Liverpool. Well, I'll say a good game. If you were a Liverpool supporter, it mightn't be seen as a good game. The teams were very, very close. I mean, obviously decided on penalties 3-2, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, it was a terrific game. And also, it's the curtain raiser. There's that phrase, it's the curtain raiser. But there's one thing I do want to mention at the start. I don't want to make a big deal about this because I do, you know, it's the minute silence situation for Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva. Now, there was noise, and it's difficult to be able to tell whether it's just... if you've got 80,000 people in there, and I've seen these in those situations. Firstly, I think a minute's silence is the right thing to do instead of a minute's applause.
Absolutely.
Because it's more respectful, I think, to the person. But if one person makes a noise, then you'll get someone else to go, shut up, and then the whole thing. So what was disgusting about it is that they couldn't go the whole minute.
No.
Because then you've got one person, and I don't know whether it was someone actually truly shouting, just trying to make a big deal and just try and make a name for themselves. It's ridiculous and it's disgusting. But then you obviously have other fans that will shout and tell them to shut up, and then a noise. Now, Arne Slot was asked about this afterwards, and it was quite interesting what he had to say.
I don't think this was planned, or this was the idea of the fan that made some noise. Maybe he wasn't aware of the fact that it was the minute of silence. He was just still happy and tried to cheer for his team. And I think then the fans of Palace were trying to calm that person or those persons down. So I don't think he had a bad intention, the guy or people that made noise. Then they tried to calm him down, but that was a bit noisy as well. And then our fans reacted on, hey, what's happening here? So I don't think there's a bad intention to it, because the fans of Crystal Palace and everywhere around the world have paid huge respect to Diogo and Andre. And this was, I think, unlucky, or I can't find the right words, but I don't think there was a bad intention in it.
Very diplomatic.
I thought so, and I thought it was... I don't think this many people would say that. The fact that he'd actually said, well, you know what?
because it's not true.
I think, do you not think... Do you think absolutely not?
Absolutely not. But anyway, that's my view. What do I know? I think the man did the right thing. He said the right thing in the right way. Very, very good. Dean Henderson, what a guy. Former Man United goalkeeper. And I mean, really confident, really in control.
Some terrific penalty saves, but...
Two good goalkeepers yesterday,
There were, but also we got to a point where we're getting penalty shootouts and people are getting more and more scored. There were 5 missed penalties.
Yeah.
But again, that chippy-chappy nonsense.
Running up to the ball.
Step it right. Oh, I'll stop. I'll do a bit of this.
Well,
I'll do a little...
I couldn't even do that. I would trip up.
What, before you got to the ball?
Yeah.
But it's pointless. See, the thing is, if you get a penalty taker will go up and try and put the goalkeeper off, try and send them one way or the other, but goalkeepers stay still now. So by the time they get to the ball, they've got no momentum, they can't kick the ball properly. I mean, there were some good penalties from that, but just go.
Well, Alisson didn't stay still. I think he was lucky that he got off with one.
Well, he was.
He was off his line.
And let's face it, Liverpool were lucky they didn't have a penalty against them either.
Yeah.
When Alexis McAllister, there was that handball, which looked like an obvious handball to me, which wasn't given.
But listen, what a few months for Palace.
Oh, yeah.
What a year. This is turning out for them to be 2 trophies now.
Nothing in 120 years. And then, I mean, talk about London buses. I mean, this is like a...
2 come along at once.
120 years. I mean, that's the bus round my way. But it is incredible. But they've got an even bigger thing. It's a huge deal that they're waiting from the Court of Arbitration for Sport this afternoon.
It is a huge deal.
And this is whether they qualify to go into the Europa League. I'm not going to go into the whole ins and outs because we've done it for the last few weeks, but it's all multi-ownership deals with John Textor, who was the owner, who had also shares in Lyon, which meant that Crystal Palace are not allowed to play in the Europa League because Lyon are. So they've gone to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, and the decision's going to be made today whether they can play in that.
Yeah.
Forest are hoping no, because they'll get that place. So it's either the Conference League or the Europa League, but it could be worth like about 10, 20 million quid to them. So I hope sense is seen and everything's going to be OK.
OK. So John Solako, we'll look forward to him, 20 past 8
Yeah,
this
John
morning,
Solako, Chris, that's if he's feeling all right. He's had a bit of a night of celebration, I believe, but Crystal Palace legend John Solako.
OK.
We can
See you
look
there,
forward to
my
that.
friend. Thank you very much indeed.
Now at 6:31, it's time for our daily reflection.
The GB News Daily Reflection.
Hello, my name's Marcus. I'm a vicar in the Church of England. There is a power so powerful that it can radically transform a person from the inside out, making a new creation. Everybody will be able to recognize personal imperfections, and there will be areas in our lives that we want to see improved. Like a bad tree, we sometimes produce bad fruit. Fruits such as envy, selfishness, anger, hatred, and so on, that impact our lives and the lives of those around us in unhealthy ways. Our fruits reflect our nature, and the only way a bad fruit is going to bear good fruit is if there is a radical transformation in its nature. In the Bible, we are told that through the Holy Spirit, a person can be totally transformed from the inside and be given power to bear good fruit. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Imagine a world where everyone produced this kind of fruit all the time.
Thank you to the Reverend Marcus there. If you're out and about travelling today, the weather's going to be good, but is the traffic going to be good? Let's find out.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A898 northbound Erskine Bridge is closed for roadworks, with southbound restrictions. There are signed diversions for several slip road closures. On the M8 westbound at junction 30, the off-slip to the M8 98 northbound is closed. In Wales, M4 westbound from junction 45, Ynysforgan to junction 46 Llangefallach is shut for inspections with diversions. In Oxfordshire, a collision on A34 northbound between junctions with A4185 and A4130 causes a lane closure. And on the trains, the Elizabeth line faces disruptions to and from London Paddington. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Now, do stay with us. Still to come, we're going through the papers with Dawn Neeson and Chris Akabusi. That's up next. Look at these two.
Welcome back to Britain's Newsroom with Andrew and Beth.
Hello everyone, Patrick Christie's here.
I'm Michelle Duper, Britain's News Channel.
Access the stories that matter to you. Take the GB News family with you on any device. And as long as you have an internet connection, tune in to GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond. GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's News Channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more. Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's News Channel.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently.
It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it?
It's explosive.
I mean, this is very good.
It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial.
And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born.
It's everything you need to kickstart your evening.
Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it.
That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's News Channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Dordme, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's News Channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's News Channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
OK, we've got to that stage of the programme where we're going to go through the stories making the headlines in the newspapers today. Dawn Neeson, Chris Akabusi this morning.
The dream team.
Absolutely.
If you're having nightmares.
What a treat, you two.
What a team to wake up to. But this news, Dawn, about the Chagos Islands again. And so £30 billion. So Starmer 1 minute says it's going to cost £3 billion or so to keep the Chagos Islands going or to pay them off or whatever the heck's going on. now it appears it's about 35 billion. So this man either doesn't know what he's talking about, or he calculatedly does know what he's talking about, and he chooses not to tell the truth.
Well, this is the thing. Is our Prime Minister a liar, or is he stupid? Now, considering what he did in a previous career, which he reminds us of on a daily basis, I don't understand how he could not understand that this does not make sense. So, perfectly, we give away something we own, and then we pay 34.7 billion to do so. That didn't make sense in the first place. But we were told that it would only cost sort of 3.4 billion over sort of like, 99 years, so not really to worry about it. OK, right, fine, fair enough. But now, this is a Freedom of Information request, and we have found out that the actual figures are close to 34.7 billion. And the document that was revealing this shows that civil servants were instructed to lower the cost of the deal on paper, the paper that's available to us now, to 10 billion. So they were instructed to actually massage the figures. Who was doing the instructing to massage those
Well, they were going
figures?
to announce, the thing was, they were going to announce, Chris, a big saving, right? We're going to get rid of these Chagos Islands, we're not going to pay for this anymore. Then Trump gets to hear about this, and he says, oh, you think I'm paying for this on my own? I'm not paying for this. And he said, you want to be my mate, Starmer? You want to be my mate, you pay for the Chagos Islands. So Starmer then does everything he can to pay for the Chagos Islands, but what he doesn't do, Dawn, is tell us the truth. Tell us the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone is surprised that politicians are economical with the actuality. So
I think when they're caught out like that, that is a resigning issue.
Well, that especially what's going on to say is people used to be economical, but this is tenfold. It's not the odd million or two or odd billion or two. It's a tenfold porky pie. That's what's alarming to me, especially when you think, I mean, £30 billion, astronomical figure. The government were complaining about a supposed 20 billion black hole when they got in, but happily have given away 30 billion to lease back something that we were entitled to in the first place. I know the Conservatives started it anyway. You then think about it's half of the school budget. You then think about the deficit in the country has increased by another 20 billion since they've been in.
We've got a £40 billion black hole now.
It's just, these are such huge numbers. And as often has been said, whenever there's another form of crisis, we find a few more billion. Well, who is it all resting on? We represent the normal taxpayer.
Well, do they really think we're so stupid? Do they really hate us that much, right? The great British people, the people that gave them their job.
We are that stupid.
Well, I mean, what is the... Why have they done this? What are they doing? Do they think that we would not find out about this mysterious
they're
£30
lying,
billion?
and there is an inability, obviously, to be able to do the finances and run the country. And basically what we're saying to you this morning is, you're watching or listening, please do have your say on this. I don't care what political party it is or what political background you're from. He said this would cost us about £3 billion. It's costing us £35 billion. Did he know that? Did he say it in the way that he should have said it, or was he just massaging the figures? Let us know what you think.
Yeah. Chris, let's have a look at the front page of the Mail this morning, shall we? And 26,000 prisoners been freed early under this Labour government.
Yeah, again, this is one of those where they had to do something. Continually different prison ministers have talked about the overcrowding in our prisons. Justice Secretary Shabina Mahmood is just another one who's banging on the same drum. Got to do something about it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what you've got to do about it. You've got to invest in prisons. You've got to pay prison officers, and you've got to lock people up behind bars. Yeah. And, Dawn, what I'll say is this, that the governments make, it's costly, it's costly. Do you care whether your tax money is paid to put criminals behind bars, because I certainly don't. I think it's a very good use of my tax money.
I tell you, it's better than giving away the Chagos Islands, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it is. But, I mean, let's not forget this was originally a Conservative Party policy.
Yeah.
They came up with the idea because our prison system, not just our prison system, but our probation system, our judiciary system,
all
everything...
politicians are the same on this.
Exactly. They're all grinding. Yeah, that was a really good point on the Chagos Island. This isn't even a political thing. This is not whether you're red or blue or turquoise or green or whatever. This is actually the government's, whatever government colour it happens to be, actually treating us like fools. And this latest thing, Labour freed over 26,000 criminals early, including hundreds of serious offenders. Now, Labour, when they came up with this and did it, followed through on the Tory policy, said no, there wouldn't be any violent offenders involved in this. And they released domestic abusers.
We're not supposed to. I mean,
No, they weren't supposed to, but they did. And this is, if they don't know what they're doing with this, Chris, and it's domestic abuse, who else are they letting out?
OK, guys, hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break, and hopefully you will join us again. Thank you for your company right after this. And if you're in search of some holiday sun, what should you do?
Well, here's the forecast for some of the top European destinations.
Ready to soak up that holiday sunshine?
Won't we need some cover?
No worries. All sorted.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello, the heat wave continues across much of Europe. Plenty of hot sunshine to come. Could trigger 1 or 2 thunderstorms in places, particularly during the evening and overnight periods, but plenty of sunshine to come by day. Eastern Mediterranean temperatures reaching the mid to high 30s in places. 1 or 2 showers possible across Spain and Portugal inland, but coastal stretches temperatures well above average in that sunshine. And it remains hot and sunny for the rest of the week, temperatures above average.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Good afternoon, Britain. Weekdays from midday.
Dale, so what's all this about? You're involved in this scheme. The idea is that people who've got depression need to get out and about, and football's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you summed it up really rather well there. Football is a place for communities. It's a place where you feel a part of something. I know this from my experience of football. I've been running Forest Green for about 15 years now. And chatting to our local GP, who happens to be also our MP, but we just had the idea, why don't we offer football on prescription? Because it'd be a lovely thing to do. Football is a great place to come and meet other people and be a part of something. And it could really help people that are feeling isolated and lonely and you know, other aspects of mental health. So I'm really happy to be taking part in this, and if it works here in Stroud, then we're hoping we'll roll it out nationally, and maybe even the NHS will embrace it as a national programme. That would be great.
This is football clubs that have signed up to voluntarily offer seats to be a part of this programme.
Yeah, and right now it's one football club, Forest Green Rovers, but I hope that football clubs up and down the country and up and down the leagues of football as well, because it doesn't have to be a Premier Championship club. You know, there are lots of great leagues in our country and local clubs for people to go and take part with. So yeah, it's not being paid for by the NHS. It's being paid for currently by Forest Green Rovers.
You're a businessman, though. Surely you must see some, you know, some dollar signs on this one. Sell the tickets to the NHS.
Well, I'm British, so I don't look at dollar signs. But look, I'm primarily an environmentalist, and what I care about is making our country a better place. I spend most of my time pursuing the green economy, but I believe in tax justice, social justice, that kind of stuff. Mental health is a crisis in our country, particularly for men. You know, it's the biggest cause of suicide for the under 50s. Men are affected 3 times more than women. Men don't tend to talk to each other. They don't talk about their problems. And so this is not about money.
GB News, the People's Channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun. No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised. I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Now, it's A-level results day on Thursday, and you're going to get programmes like us reflecting what kids are getting and what increase there is on A-level results. But the story, front page of the Telegraph, Dawn, and really, I want Mr. Akabusi to listen to this and then comment when you tell us what the story is, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
This is about the Education Secretary, Bridget Phillips, and she's come out and said, oh, it's awful what white working class kids are having to put up with, and a national disgrace that so many white working class peoples weren't able to get grades needed for university. Right. Now, what I'm worried about is, I think that's true. I think absolutely true. But what about the black working class kids?
Exactly. I mean, Labour aren't quite sure what's going on with this, by the way. They're not telling us why white working class pupils, and it's mainly young boys, are not doing as well as they should do at school. They think because there's higher level of truancy and suspension, etc., but no one's quite sure. So Labour are preparing a series of interventions that they're going to tackle in a white paper. Yay, another one. That is coming out this autumn, and that is going to be looking into why this is happening. But if you drill down into this further, it isn't just white working class kids, it is also black working class.
All right.
In particular,
now,
boys.
Labour are saying this week because there are protests at hotels about immigrants and all sorts of things, and they want to look like, oh, we're looking after the white lot, so, you know, let's get a say in about this. That seems to be quite obvious to me. But, Chris, I do worry there is a problem with the black lads and girls as well.
Well, I mean, initially when I saw the headline, I thought, why white working class? Why not just working class young people are struggling? And initially I also thought about getting into the workplace, but actually it appears it's about, like you said, the A-levels and university places. Now, typically you've got, you know, Asian children, and when you talk about black children, typically, black children from an African background, their parents are very pushy. They'll spend every spare penny they have in extra tutoring to ensure...
And bettering the kids.
Yeah, that they get their grades at GCSE, at A-level, and then go on to university, because my parents' generation, education was the way out. My parents came to this country in the 50s because of the education here, because of the university system here. They wanted to be the first cohort who could then go back and take the education and develop Nigeria. I was a product, I was born in this country, didn't quite get the memo because I left with 9 no-levels. So I'm not typical, but typically African families work very hard on education. Now, I don't know what white working class families are doing with their young people. We talked about it in the break. I think there's something else going on here. I don't think it's just about working class.
This is Bridget Phillipson responding to Reform UK, because they're accusing Labour of abandoning their base, abandoning working class people, and she's saying, whoa. No, actually, it's white working class kids who've been forgotten here. But it's Reform setting the agenda.
It really is. I mean, Reform are living rent-free in Labour's head at the moment. I mean, Nigel Farage claimed earlier this year that Reform has replaced Labour as the party of the working class. And I think if you look at all the polls and the support that Reform are getting, that is true. So I think Labour, Bridget Phillipson in particular with this, is scrabbling around. We've got to do something, got to say something about the white working class, because they feel that, you know, we're losing them, we're all going to go and vote Reform.
I do think that there is something, though, about young males. That we live in a society where young males have limited male role models in the home. There's a rise in single-parent households. Not saying that women can't do a good job as a single parent, but
both jobs are important.
But yeah, a masculine role in that is important. And I do think when you go to school, often there is many more female teachers than there are male teachers. So, and I know that young boys learn maybe a little too differently to the way ladies can be more collegiate, girls can be more collegiate. Boys have got to expend their energy. Now, I know it could be sort of, what's the word, that you stereotypical when you talk about that, but maybe there is something in the way we educate young boys from an early age that is mitigating their success at A-levels.
The irony of this, sorry, Eamonn, the irony of this story, white working class pupils, white working class young men, these are the same white working class young men that Labour are also branding as racist because they're standing outside asylum hotels worried about the safety of women and girls.
But, Dawn, this is as plain as the nose on your face. I mean, what's going on here with this. Now, here's an interesting thing. Oh, we're only 45 seconds. But I should say, if you're a driver over 70, would you object to being tested every year or every 3 years or so? I personally wouldn't. Would you?
Not at all. No, wouldn't have a problem with
that. Would you, Ellie?
No, wouldn't mind, would you?
No. But no, I wouldn't. But then again, everybody should be tested. I mean, because most of the accidents are young people.
True. Good point.
Old people.
They are. They are. You're absolutely right. OK, well, that's one of the stories. That's the front page of the Times today. Drivers over 70 face eye tests every 3 years. Chris is saying everybody should be tested every year and don't necessarily disagree with him on that.
Dawn, Chris, thank you very much indeed. Let us know what you think of any of those stories. Let's get a check on the weather now with Greg.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. And it's a bit of a north-south split in the weather first thing this morning. Quite cloudy and damp across northern parts of the UK, but plenty of sunshine across England and Wales in particular. There are a few mist and fog patches through this morning. They should clear, and then generally for most it will be a dry day, plenty of sunny spells. The rain across Northern Ireland, Northern England will become increasingly confined to northern parts of Scotland as we move through into the afternoon. Still 1 or 2 heavier bursts across the Highlands here, temperatures around 17 to 19 Celsius, but elsewhere feeling hot in the sunshine, the high 20s to low 30s, and that could potentially spark 1 or 2 thunderstorms as we move through into the evening time, something we need to keep an eye on. But that band of rain still giving some outbreaks of rain across northern Scotland through the evening, 1 or 2 heavy bursts possible, but elsewhere across Scotland, plenty of sunny spells, temperatures in the low 20s. Similar picture across Northern Ireland as well. 1 or 2 showers perhaps possible. Largely dry across England and Wales, but an increasing risk of 1 or 2 heavy showers or thunderstorms across the southwest. Just stay tuned to the forecast, as there could be some localised disruption from this, but most places will stay dry. They will push slowly northwards as we go through the evening and overnight. Again, most places dry, but don't be surprised if you just get woken up by the odd rumble of thunder across parts of England and Wales into perhaps Northern Ireland too. Generally dry across Scotland, but further rain across Orkney and Shetland. And temperatures for most in double figures. A muggy start to Tuesday morning, but a bright start, plenty of sunny spells, any overnight showers starting to fade away, and then it should be another lovely day, plenty of hot sunshine. But again, into the afternoon, 1 or 2 thunderstorms are possible. Most places missing these, lots of dry weather to come, lots of sunshine, and temperatures most likely peaking around central southeastern parts at 33 degrees.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The northbound Erskine Bridge is closed for weekend roadworks with southbound restrictions. Slip roads to Great Western Road and M8 Junction 30 westbound off-slip are shut. The M4 westbound between junctions 45 and 46 is closed for structural inspections. Incidentally, the A34 northbound has a collision closing one lane between the A4185 and A4130. And on the trains, expect disruptions on the Elizabeth line through London Paddington and reduced service between Bedford and Bletchley on the London North Western Railway. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
We want to send some of those monthly financial stresses packing this August with your chance to be mortgage or rent-free for 12 whole months. We'll give you a cash lump sum that equals 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to an amazing £20,000. We'll also throw in an extra £5,000 on top of that for good measure. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK, we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News, the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m. only on GB News.
Good morning. The government announces more foreign criminals will be deported before any appeal.
From 23 countries, they'll no longer be able to delay their deportation by appealing against the decision to remove them.
Well, the Home Office claims it will stop 3,000 offenders from gaming the system, clogging up our prisons and dragging out their appeals.
However, as the former Justice Secretary Alex Chalk has slammed the move, he's warned rapists and violent criminals could walk free on taxpayer-funded flights.
Meanwhile, more than 1,100 small boat migrants have crossed the English Channel illegally since the new UK-France returns deal came into operation, with GB News provisional figures showing 281 people arrived on 5 small boats yesterday.
Keir Starmer's Chagos Islands deal is going to cost 10 times more than he said it would. £35 billion, and you've been having your say on this one this morning. People just cannot believe this, or in many cases, you can believe it, but for dubious reasons.
JD Vance has declared that President Trump will force Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky into direct talks to end the war, but dismisses calls by European leaders for the Ukrainian president to join the upcoming Alaska summit.
And as it emerges that MPs rake in 830,000 quid a year in rent, which isn't a lot, let's face it, we're asking, is it appropriate for them to be landlords? Yes, I'd say they should be able to do whatever they want. Part-time's none of our business, but there we go. In sport, what's happening?
Well, I shall tell you. Crystal Palace won the Community Shield by beating Liverpool on penalties, but they do await another big result later on today. Also, Sheffield Wednesday protested, well, the fans did anyway, at Leicester over their dodgy ownership. That Sheffield Wednesday is not Leicester's. And in golf, veteran Justin Rose has won his first PGA title in 2 years.
Hello there. The 4th summer heatwave officially beginning across parts of the UK. Find out all the weather details coming up soon.
Hello there, 2 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock on this Monday morning. Thank you for starting your day. Thank you for starting your week with us. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast. The chips are down.
Ooh.
This is a story in the Daily Star this morning that's caught my eye. Basically, because of the hot weather, there's going to be a shortage of potatoes.
No.
Yeah.
So
Because
did I overreact?
the harvest is smaller this year. So you're either going to be paying more for your portions of chips in the fish and chippy, or we're going to have to start looking at alternatives, and that makes me nervous, like lentil chips, lentil crisps.
What?
No, there's lentil crisps.
No.
No. I'd rather go
just
without.
dig more holes in the ground, have more allotments and various things, and just get more
Well, Angela
potatoes.
Rayner wants to shut down the allotments, doesn't she?
She wants to sell them off.
Well, she wants to sell them off.
Yeah, but...
But we need them. We need more potato. We can't have any shortage of potatoes.
I went I went to look at a house on Saturday, and it was going to be built. It hadn't been built yet. It was going to be built in a whole allotment area.
Oh, so that's exactly what they're being sold off for housing.
You think they're going to come back? No, they're not going to come back. But the lovely thing about... Have you ever grown potatoes?
I've never grown potatoes.
I've grown potatoes. Now,
I'll bet you.
They do the most beautiful... They break up the soil fantastically.
What do you mean they break up the soil?
Well, the soil, instead of big cloggy sections and whatever, it's all fine and really nice and quite peaty and everything.
So are you going to be doing that? Growing some potatoes?
No.
I think you should. We need you.
I did do it when I was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Dig for victory, that's what I say.
And they taste lovely.
We need you. You should start growing them for us.
Very easy to grow potatoes.
There you go.
Very easy,
You've got no excuses.
No excuses at
So
all.
I'm thinking, what are our favourite potatoes? What's our favourite form of potato?
Comber potatoes.
No, I mean, what do you like it? Like chips or crisps or a roasty or a mash?
Oh, all forms of it, all forms. But then you're told that the hydrocarbon, you shouldn't be eating the carbohydrate. That's what it is.
The carbohydrates, yeah.
I love a potato.
I love potato too. I like a roasty. Had some lovely roast potatoes yesterday.
Mashed potato. Properly mashed.
Not mad on
Not
mash.
if there's lump in there.
No, I don't like a lumpy mash.
Yeah, love a bit of mash.
And I love a chip, but like a thick chip.
What about a potato in its jacket?
What?
A potato in its jacket there? Jacket potato?
Jacket potato,
no, don't do it.
Scoop it out, then put the butter in at the end with a bit of salt and eat it like it was crisp. Lovely.
Oh, yum.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Love a nice jacket potato.
Your favourite way to eat them? Have your say this morning. Let us know. Right, the government has announced that more foreign criminals will be deported before they're allowed any sort of appeal.
Well, it's called the Deport Now, Appeal Later scheme, and it will see criminals from 23 countries no longer able to delay their deportation by pleas against the decision to remove them.
Elsewhere, it's been revealed by the Daily Telegraph that Sir Keir Starmer's Chagos Islands deal will cost 10 times more than he said it would, the amount far higher than the £3.4 billion he had previously stated.
Well, joining us now in the studio is political commentator Piers Pottinger. I mean, this is shocking, isn't it? We've gone from £3.4 billion as the figure that was being used in public to almost $35 billion, 10 times the original cost.
Yeah, and we're actually paying to lease back something that was ours in the first place. I mean, it's whatever. If I had told you this 10 years ago, you'd laugh and think that's never going to happen. It's also strategically a very important base. And increasingly with what's happening in China and with our pact with Australia, it's a really vital strategic military base, the Chagos Islands. So what on earth we're doing, allowing it to be... And as part of the agreement, apart from the absurd money we're talking about, we're also, as part of the deal, the base is actually maintained now, has to be maintained by people from Mauritius, who are not, shall we put it this way, top of the league table when it comes to military maintenance. I mean, the whole thing is a nonsense. And this was a deal actually brokered by Jonathan Powell, who is the National Security Advisor, a former Blairite. Now, Jonathan Powell is the National Security Advisor, and he is unique in the sense he's the first National Security Advisor, a hugely important role, but he's not a civil servant. It's a political appointment.
Yes.
And that means he's not accountable to anyone other than Starmer, his good buddy. And that is a very, very worrying thing, because normally the National Security Advisor would be accountable to Parliament, would be called in front of the Security Parliamentary Committee to account for himself or herself. He doesn't have to do that.
Yeah, but what he does have to do, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't he working in America at the moment for us?
Well, he's also involved with what I'm calling the half-baked Alaska summit.
Yeah.
Because
what I'm
that's
trying to
it's
say
gonna
is he's
be.
got a big Trump connection.
Oh, huge.
On behalf of Starmer.
Yes.
Right, he's in there as Starmer's man to ease...
Absolutely. Well, that's partly because David Lammy is an international laughingstock. And when you have a foreign secretary who thinks that Henry VII followed Henry VIII, you know you're in trouble. And so Jonathan Powell has had to step in. I mean, my friends in the Foreign Office tell me they spend most of their time trying to keep David Lammy away from anything that could actually be of import.
I mean, he's meeting J.D. Vance at
It
the
looked
moment.
quite cosy, didn't it?
Well, this is what gets me, all this business with everybody's hugging and, you know, to be somebody's
Very
friend. What
cosy.
happened to days of diplomacy where you just shook someone's hand and whatever?
Yeah.
Now you have to hug them, bear hug them, all this nonsense, all nonsense.
Well, I mean, you know, they all have these summits, and in the old days, when you had a summit, you had summit to say.
Summit to say.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Now, you see, getting back to Chagos, and I mean, I'm just looking at people's reactions coming in here all the time.
They're not happy.
They're not happy.
Sure.
Mary saying, we give something away and it costs us, the taxpayers. You couldn't make it up 10 times more than they told us. Angela says, just a portion. Oh, sorry, that's chips.
My potatoes,
But basically, why did we have to give the Chagos Islands away? As in, why do we need them? Why do we have to be involved in them? Why can't we hand them to India or something?
Well, I mean, it's a very good question. There is, in fact, if you look at it in detail, no real reason. There was no obligation. It was a throwaway remark by, wait for it, a European judge in a European court that said, oh, we should be giving back the Chagos to Mauritius. And so, for some reason, of course, our Labour lot, who are now all lawyers or run by lawyers, felt they had to do it.
Well, they thought
and our
it'd be
old friend Lord Hermer, who has made his fortune by representing enemies of Britain, is now rubbed his hands with glee and said, yes, let's give the Chagos back. Well, not give it back, pay to have it gone.
I mean, the government would say, of course, that they thought it was inevitable that we would have to hand it back, that we would be obliged by court to do so. So at least this way, if there is some sort of deal, the UK and the US have control of the
wasn't
Chagos
inevitable
Islands,
at all.
rather than China, for example.
The court in question actually had no jurisdiction over this, and it wasn't a legal pronouncement, and it had no standing. It was completely unnecessary. But remember, we are governed now by the lawyers, and they actually are so far removed from reality that we are just building ourselves more and more problems. This thing about deporting foreign criminals before they appeal, if that works, I'd be very surprised. Because, first of all, the countries in question have to agree to take them back, which many of them have already indicated they don't want them back. After all, why would you want serious criminals back in your country if you don't need to have them? And the second thing is that what they've got to do is reconcile themselves from Article 8 in the European Justice Act, which means not quite coming out of the European Human Rights Court, but certainly saying we're not going to do part of it. Now, that itself will present problems and be a gift to human rights lawyers in this country who, as we know, are proliferating by making huge sums of money. Not quite 30 billion, but they're making a lot of money out of...
Well, this country, you mentioned this country.
Yeah.
This country is changing beyond all recognition, and whether you agree with that or whether you don't, and I don't care if you live in Belfast or you live in Aberdeen or you live in Coventry or wherever it isn't just the big cities, the big international Birminghams and Manchesters that are becoming multicultural on this. I know, particularly in Northern Ireland, people are aghast at who now lives there and how they live and how their community has changed, and everything. So many things in their day-to-day business have changed, and they feel that their own neighbourhoods and their own areas are not their own anymore. And a lot of the political parties are about this, that certain parties want to bring in immigrants and migrants, whatever, because they want the votes.
Of course.
They want the votes.
And, I mean, an awful lot of what the Labour Party is doing, and the Labour government is doing, is aimed particularly at Muslim voters at the moment.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you know, this is a Christian country. But I'm told, anyway, but you wouldn't know it these days. And it's also always surprised me, you don't see many Muslim asylum seekers seeking asylum in Muslim countries. I wonder why.
I wonder why. See if you can answer that and have your say this morning on that. But Piers, we'll say thank you to you.
Pleasure.
Appreciate all that you've had to say. Piers Pottinger, political commentator this morning. So have your say and we'll reflect those throughout the programme.
Well, in response to the Chagos Islands deal, a government spokesperson has said that the Diego Garcia military base is essential to the security of the UK and our key allies and to keeping British people safe. The deal is supported by our closest allies, including the US, Canada, Australia and NATO. The costs compare favourably with other international base agreements, and the UK-US base on Diego Garcia is larger, in a more strategic location, and has unparalleled operational freedom. So they would say still a very good deal. Let us know what you think on that one.
We're going to talk about the peace deal that's going to be trying to be negotiated this week between Russia and Ukraine. Now, the US Vice President J.D. Vance says that America is in the process of scheduling when Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky can actually meet up to discuss the war.
Well, J.D. Vance has declared that President Trump will force Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky into direct talks to end the war, but has dismissed calls by European leaders for the Ukrainian president to join the upcoming Alaska summit.
Interested now, as we always are, in the former chairman of the Defence Select Committee, Tobias Ellwood, with his take on things. Tobias, if and when this goes ahead this week, are you hopeful? Or do you see some sort of drastic gear change coming up?
I mean, you sum it up brilliantly. If and when this goes ahead. The bigger picture here is that this time two leaders are meeting face to face. The first time they've done so, Putin and Trump, in 6 years, 7 years, if you want to go back to a proper sit-down summit. And the world looks very different indeed. It's far more dangerous. It's more unpredictable. And that's partly thanks to Russia. And you can't just whistle up a summit expecting to end a war without addressing those wider geopolitics, the security issues that are actually the backdrop to the war itself. Putin is now seen as an antagonist. He's seeking to rekindle influence, expand Russia's dominance to reflect Soviet times. And Russia has moved to a war footing. Aside from invading Ukraine, it's rearming, including a nuclear arsenal. So if you're going to finally sit down with your adversary, then the stakes are very, very high indeed. And you've got to get it right. These things are usually choreographed, to the hilt. But at the moment, there's nothing on the table that suggests there is any viable plan for anything. So tensions are certainly escalating, Tobias, but there's nothing to say that we're going to end the war. This looks like appeasement. It looks like Munich 1938.
OK, and we were talking about this earlier, but basically things are not... Russia's obviously a very strong, very dominant force, but not as strong as they'd like to make out. They've had huge casualties here. Their gains have not been as great. The timing of all of this has been much longer than one would have thought. Where they're actually going to go and end up, I mean, all has to be determined. So what's Putin negotiating for? What's he stalling for? What does he need? And how sympathetic is Trump to him?
Again, such an important question, because the appetite for Russia to go to war and stay at war is very different from the West. It goes back to Russia's history. It's about that game of risk. The green is very difficult to defend. What's the best way to defend? To attack. And Ivan the Terrible learned this, as did Catherine the Great, Peter the Great, and so on, and indeed Stalin too. Putin is actually reflecting all this. The best way to defend Russia is to attack. And the Russian people have this built into their DNA. So they take on hardship in a way that the West doesn't. So we don't really appreciate that. We think, well, they're war weary now. They're going to stop. It doesn't work that way in Russia. And Putin has now gained credibility. You know, Russia was the pariah state, and now the president is being invited to Alaska to actually sit down for a summit. Not only that, Trump is actually suggesting some land swaps, some ceding of territory to Russia. Putin could not be more happier than this. And this is why there's been pushback, not only from President Zelensky, but of course from capital cities as well. Right now, this summit is set to fail. And I wouldn't be surprised if Trump suddenly realizes this and decides this isn't my deal making that I'd like to see. I'm actually going to pull out. I'm going to postpone this.
We'll get to a stage, like J.D. Vance says, where Trump will bring together Zelensky and Putin, or do you think we need to first see this meeting take place between Trump and Putin on Friday?
Well, as I say, I think there's a Putin-Trump summit to be done to talk about the wider geopolitics, to talk about where our world is sliding towards, to develop a relationship. As I say, they haven't seen each other, for over 7 years. That needs to happen first, and it needs to be designed in a way that it would lead to some form of agreement. Then you can start looking at the details. But right now, Putin believes he's winning. He's got Trump on the back foot. He's doing well on the ground in Ukraine, and he's got Europe and America looking in different directions. So there's little for him to enjoy in Alaska. Otherwise, as I say, being treated as a global statesman again. So we've gone about this the wrong way. And J.D. Vance's comments are very, very opening, revealing as well, to say that they're just getting fed up with it. They don't have the appetite to see this through. And the consequences of that are actually huge for Europe, because, of course, we've got to deal with the fact that Putin will continue his advance way beyond Ukraine if we don't stop him here.
Always good to hear from you. And if and when it happens this week or next week, really look forward to getting back and picking your brain again as to what's going on, because he's a man. You're looking at a man there from a political point of view. He knows what's going on, and obviously he's been in the military and has that whole taken that whole brain and that whole perspective for that. Tobias Elwood, appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Now, it's just coming up to 7:20. Let's get a check on the weather with Greg.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. And it's a bit of a north-south split in the weather first thing this morning. Quite cloudy and damp across northern parts of the UK, but plenty of sunshine across England and Wales in particular. There are a few mist and fog patches through this morning. They should clear, and then generally for most it will be a dry day, plenty of sunny spells. The rain across Northern Ireland, Northern England will become increasingly confined to northern parts of Scotland as we move through into the afternoon. Still 1 or 2 heavier bursts possible across the Highlands here. Temperatures around 17 to 19 Celsius, but elsewhere feeling hot in the sunshine, the high 20s to low 30s, and that could potentially spark 1 or 2 thunderstorms as we move through into the evening time, something we need to keep an eye on. But that band of rain still giving some outbreaks of rain across northern Scotland through the evening, 1 or 2 heavy bursts possible, but elsewhere across Scotland, plenty of sunny spells, temperatures in the low 20s. Similar picture across Northern Ireland as well. 1 or 2 showers perhaps possible. Largely dry across England and Wales, but an increasing risk of 1 or 2 heavy showers or thunderstorms across the southwest. Just stay tuned to the forecast. There could be some localised disruption from this, but most places will stay dry. They will push slowly northwards as we go through the evening and overnight. Again, most places dry, but don't be surprised if you just get woken up by the odd rumble of thunder across parts of England and Wales into perhaps Northern Ireland too. Generally dry across Scotland, but further rain across Orkney and Shetland. And temperatures for most in double figures. A muggy start to Tuesday morning, but a bright start, plenty of sunny spells, any overnight showers starting to fade away, and then it should be another lovely day, plenty of hot sunshine. But again, into the afternoon, 1 or 2 thunderstorms are possible. Most places missing these, lots of dry weather to come, lots of sunshine, and temperatures most likely peaking around central southeastern parts at 33 degrees.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now, time for the Great British Giveaway, and it is your chance for what, Ellie?
To live mortgage or rent-free for a whole year. Plus, you get an extra £5,000 in your bank account. You can do whatever you like with that because it's
Wowza. Even if you don't pay a monthly mortgage or rent payment, we will give you £15,000 in cash. Here are all the details and how you can get it.
We want to send some of those monthly financial stresses packing this August with your chance to be mortgage or rent-free for 12 whole months. We'll give you a cash lump sum that equals 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to an amazing £20,000. We'll also throw in an extra £5,000 on top of that for good measure, because why not? And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you. We'll give you £15,000 tax-free cash instead. What are you waiting for? Lines will close on the 29th of August. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15, PO Box 8690, Derby, DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Yes, good luck.
Right, now the question we have for you is up next. Is it appropriate for MPs to be landlords?
Yes, and you think absolutely no problem, do what you like.
Well, you know, if it's what would you call it? It's income that is silent income or whatever from them. That's what they want to invest the money in. They could do worse. They could do worse. But anyway, we just can't be envious of everybody who has things that are more than we have.
Yeah, the politics of envy. Yeah.
Politics of envy, you're absolutely right. I personally could not be bothered being a landlord. I can't afford it, but I couldn't be bothered either.
I mean,
imagine somebody, my boiler's broken, oh God, go to the break and we'll find out after this.
You've read the headlines, you've heard what those in power have to say. How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record. You say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently. It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it? It's explosive. I mean, this is very good. It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial. And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born. It's everything you need to kickstart your evening. Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it. That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more. Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK, we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News, the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
Now, we're talking about extra income that MPs take in, and Ellie, what have we calculated?
Well, MPs are taking in at least £830,000 a year in renting out their properties.
Well, that's all of them.
All of them
It isn't
combined.
just one of them.
83 MPs are
83.
landlords.
So that's what, they get 10,000 quid each?
Something like that.
Yeah, you can't do that. You
Can't do quick maths like that. Don't put me on the spot like that, no. But they do include Rachel Reeves and David Lammy. They're both landlords.
So a lot of campaigners are now calling for greater scrutiny over what they describe as a blatant conflict of interest. So is it? So here in the studio, we have to talk about all this Andy Williams, who believes they should be allowed to do this, and Samuel Sweet, who is not convinced. Now, Samuel, tell us why you're not convinced.
Well, I mean, it's just a flagrant, as you said in the intro there, a conflict of interest. If you think about how many MPs are landlords, and you said it's in the 80s there.
83.
It's early. I couldn't remember the exact number. 83. That is a significant portion of MPs when you're talking about putting through reform and regulation into various laws and legislations. That's a lot of people who actually have a lot of vested interests in that, and it's not actually within their interests to pass a lot of this. And it's how do you regulate that beyond removing the possibility of MPs being landlords?
Well, Andy, what is the difference between vested interest and experience?
Right, and the problem with what Sam is saying is that there's very little evidence that any MPs have made a decision on how they're going to vote on this legislation on the basis of whether they are landlords or not. In fact, Labour's brought forward, or is bringing forward, some of the most radical changes to the way landlords have to operate in a generation, and the majority of MPs who are landlords are Labour MPs. You mentioned that Rachel Reeves is a Labour MP. She's fully behind this legislation. Now, of course there are problems when you have MPs like Rushanara Ali, for example, who's a government minister, and she goes and does exactly what Labour is looking to ban by evicting tenants and then relisting her place and putting the rent up. That is totally unacceptable. And likewise, Jazz Atwal, another Labour MP, a rogue landlord who has, I think, 15 homes, there's rot, there's damp, there's rat infestations, completely unacceptable. But I think we have to say that where MPs are good landlords, I don't think it would be right to prohibit them from doing that.
Sam, that's fair enough, isn't it? If you're a good landlord and you treat your tenants well and you offer good, safe properties, there's no problem.
But I mean, what I would come back on there, just as to say that there's no evidence to suggest that landlords will go a certain way in this legislation. Maybe that's true in this batch, but as a whole, how far are we now into the housing crisis when we've got hundreds of thousands of people without a home, rental prices going up, lack of actual accessible housing for anybody who needs it in this country? That, I think, is evidence enough to suggest that MPs and the House of Lords, by the way, who will scrutinise this bill, stacked to the rafters with landlords. The progress has been so slow because they're people who are literally voting to reduce their own incomes and to sort of not have the free run that they currently do have.
Yeah, Samuel, when you talk like that, I immediately think surely their jobs, all of them, whatever party they represent, is to be strengthening, empowering local authorities to be able to buy and afford and sustain a public housing project.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, you know, even with the Renters Reform Bill, which is a really good start, there are some really good things in there. But what we need to go further with is be looking at rental caps. We need to be stopping landlords from going as far out. I mean, if you look at the prices in London that have gone up in the last few years, I mean, we're talking way beyond the cost of living and inflation. But I mean, what I would add to the point as well is that, you know, if MPs are landlords and they have housing and they have say in housing laws and rental laws in this country, we should look at that with the same level of shock and question the conflict of interest in it. If MPs say are taking money from the fossil fuel lobby, and then we're debating the climate crisis and private healthcare, debating the future of the NHS.
It's all about transparency, right? And we have transparent. The reason we know about this is that MPs have to declare if they're receiving rental income, and likewise, if they're receiving money from a fossil fuel company, they have to say, before they speak in Parliament, I refer you to the members' register, right? So transparency is key here. And I think if we start saying MPs cannot be landlords because there's a conflict of interest, what about MPs who gamble voting on gambling legislation or driving voting on legislation to do, where does it end? It's just not possible to eliminate every single conflict of interest.
If you're taking money, yeah, sure. I think if you're taking a wage and taking an income, and that's from rent, and that's from, say, advisory or advocacy for any sort of group, then absolutely you should at the very least recuse yourself from that debate and vote.
Interesting one, gentlemen. Thank you both very much indeed. Certainly what we should be considering is why isn't the social housing, the responsibility of the state? I personally am very frightened, very fearful of private landlords myself, and we were beneficiaries of council house that was sold off under the Thatcher era, but it wasn't replaced. That was, at the time I thought, what an amazing thing, but it was never replaced. That's the problem. Paul Coit, back with the Community Shield, talking about that after this.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A898 northbound Erskine Bridge is closed for essential weekend roadworks with southbound restrictions. Slip road closures impact routes to Great Western Road and diversions are in place. The M4 westbound from Junction 45, Innisfallen to Junction 46, Langyfalak is closed for structural inspections with diversions. In Surrey, on the M3, there's a broken down vehicle between Junction 2 and Junction 3, causing one-lane closure. And on the trains, there's disruption between Nuneaton and Leicester on cross-country services and between Bedford and Leicester on East Midlands Railway. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
You've read the headlines, you've heard what those in power have to say. How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record. You say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently. It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it? It's explosive. This is very good. It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial. And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born. It's everything you need to kickstart your evening. Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it. That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes and Co weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more. Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date, or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back to Breakfast. Paul Coit's here with all the sport. And should we start with Sheffield Wednesday fans who are not very happy with their chairman?
Well, yeah, we spoke about this last week, didn't we? And this is the Dafon Chansiri, who is the chairman or the owner of Sheffield Wednesday, and is not treating the club very well. People are not getting paid. There's payments to HMRC which are owed. Players had to pay for their own hotels. at Leicester yesterday, and the Leicester fans also were cheered alongside them. They disappeared for the first 5 minutes. See how empty that is? They decided to keep away from the seats just to try and show that they're protesting against this man. So, anyway, the actual result was Leicester 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. And unless something happens and there's a new buyer, you fear for Sheffield Wednesday and how they're going to do this year, because they're under transfer bans. They've only got 15 players.
Maybe the players should just go on strike. You know, maybe it's just go on strike and not bother playing.
I don't even know, because then what does that do to the club? And that's no good to the fans. There's no real Ray. They just need someone else to come.
They need a new owner.
By the way, is that a Spurs tie you've got? What is that blue and white tie? I'm sorry. Where's that tie?
It's a Man United tie.
It's blue and white, though.
It looks like Newcastle.
Well, it's not.
Newcastle.
Oh.
It's not. It's got the Manchester United badge there, and just to show.
Oh, and it even says Manchester United on it.
Yes, of course it does.
Official merchandise.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice. Sorry, nice.
Anyway.
Very nice, very smart. I said to you first thing this morning, a nice suit.
Justin Rose won his first PGA title.
Well done, Justin.
In more than 2 years. Love Justin Rose, 45 years now. St Jude Championships in Memphis, the home of the King.
The home of the King.
Yeah, Elvis as well.
Yeah. I'm with
Playoff against JJ Spawn, and it was a sudden death hole. So well done to Justin Rose. I want to mention something that happened at the World Games. Now, the World Games is going on in Chengdu in China, and it's sports that are not in the Olympics.
Right, OK.
So they
it's a bit weird.
Well, yeah, it's kind of... There's tug of war, but there's this one. Now, this is free diving. So what they do, basically what it is dive in the swimming pool and swim as far as you can as long as you can hold your breath for. That's it.
Right, OK.
So... have a look at this. I think we have it. I think we can see her.
Is he still swimming?
There she is. That's her.
Oh, right.
She's not very fast, though, is she? I mean, you're not going to win a race.
Slowly?
Well, she's not going to use up oxygen if she goes more slowly.
Would you go faster? Could you get further, though?
But she doesn't need to go further. It just needs to be its duration, isn't it? Its length.
225 metres. So that's 4.5 lengths.
All right.
The pool.
I thought it was time.
No, it's distance. 5.5 minutes she held her breath.
My word.
No, that's
after a jump that's going to get your heart rate up high.
5.5 minutes. Do you know how long the world record is for holding your breath?
Oddly enough, I don't.
Well, where do you reckon?
I reckon you could hold your breath for about 7 minutes.
OK.
Really?
24 minutes.
No
Get out of it.
way.
What sort of freak does that?
I don't know.
No,
I'll tell you what.
They've died and come back.
Have you ever held your breath driving under a tunnel?
No.
I used to...
Driving under a tunnel?
Me and my dad used to do that. By the way, I don't advise anybody to do this. We should drive under the Dartford Tunnel and hold our breath.
That's a long tunnel as well. That's a long tunnel.
And if it's traffic, then it's not a good thing to do. But
You're
I've got to hold my breath under the tunnel thing.
OK, hold your breath and give us a quick birthday.
OK, quick birthdays. Here we go. First one, please. These are over the weekend. I haven't got good ones today, so these are famous sporting birthdays over the weekend. The first one is Roy Hodgson.
Oh,
Roy, Blackburn, Fulham, Liverpool, England, Crystal Palace. How old?
82.
I'd agree with Ellie. I'd say about 82.
78.
Ooh,
only 78.
We're aging.
Another one. Wimbledon champion, 1961, 62 and 68 and 69. Three-time Australian, two-time French, the legendary Rod Laver. Yes.
90.
90 for Rod Laver.
Again, Ellie, I have to agree with you. I would think, she's close there.
Close. Give me a number, come on.
92.
87.
87.
One more. Rebecca Adlington won the Olympic 400-metre freestyle.
Rebecca is...
in Beijing. It's not a birthday.
Oh.
It was this day, Britain's first female gold medalist for 48 years. What year did she win it? It was this day in what year? Olympic champion...
2012.
Beijing.
Oh.
Beijing.
I'd say
2008.
Don't know, can't work out, don't know what year
2008 is correct.
Sorry, that was brilliant by me.
2008
Fantastic.
That was brilliant.
I'll take
Very
that.
good.
OK, very good. Going through the newspapers after this, we got Dawn, we got Chris, and they've got what's making the headlines today. And here's the Holiday Sun, if you're looking for it.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello, the heat wave continues across much of Europe. Plenty of hot sunshine to come. Could trigger 1 or 2 thunderstorms in places, particularly during the evening and overnight periods, but plenty of sunshine to come by day. Eastern Mediterranean temperatures reaching the mid to high 30s in places. 1 or 2 showers possible across Spain and Portugal inland, but coastal stretches temperatures well above average in that sunshine. And it remains hot and sunny for the rest of the week, temperatures above average.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Good afternoon, Britain. Weekdays from midday.
Now, the National Memorial to Queen Elizabeth II will include a new bridge in St James's Park, designed by Norman Foster.
Yes, the translucent bridge will be inspired by the tiara the Queen wore on her wedding day.
But let's get more now from St James's Park with our royal correspondent, Cameron Walker. Cameron, what's the memorial going to be like?
Good afternoon, Tom and Emily. Yes, the wait is finally over. We have the final design from the renowned architect Lord Foster, who famously once criticised the King for his views on architecture. But of course, today it's all about honouring Queen Elizabeth II and her legacy. On that theme, at Marlborough Gate, which is the big gate you see behind me, which overlooks the Mall, that's going to be renamed Queen Elizabeth II Place. And there is, according to the artist impression, going to be a big statue of Queen Elizabeth II riding a horse overlooking the Mall. Of course, incredibly poignant because she had a deep love of all things equine. Incredibly poignant, of course, as well, significant love between Prince Philip and the late Queen. It's going to apparently, according to the architect, or hinted by the architect, light up at night as well, which is meant to symbolise all the diamonds that were part of that tiara. And the Queen famously also gave it to her granddaughter, loaned it to her granddaughter, Princess Beatrice, for her wedding in 2020. And then we come to the final part of St James's Park's Queen Elizabeth II's memorial, and that is going to be right here at the other end of the park, overlooking Birdcage Walk, going to be renamed Prince Philip Gate, because a new statue of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip is going to be erected at the other side of St James's Park. It's meant to be them, according to the artist's impressions, in their younger years.
GB News, the People's Channel.
This is Britain's newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m.
Only on GB News.
Right, front page of the Sun. We're going to begin with Dawn and Chris first of all with this. Dinghy migrants get dinghy days out. What do we mean, Dawn, by dinghy days out?
Yeah, this is the perfect
days out, no?
Dinghy, yeah. The perfect Sun story, front page. Dinghy migrants get dinghy days out. Basically, you send your reporter out, right? We want to get a story that's going to annoy people about these migrants coming over in the boats, right? And the reporter comes back, boss, I've got a great story for you. We've found a local authority that gives dinghy migrants free trips in dinghies. I mean, you really couldn't make this one up, could you? It's actually Rotherham Council, and they give discounts to people, migrants from migrant hotels, various things, martial arts classes, football tickets for kids, French lessons, half-price e-bikes, and they get to go dinghy sailing at the local leisure lake. And this is in Rotherham Council, this is. So, and it's basically a roundup of perks that illegal migrants, because if they come over on a boat across the channel, they are illegal, get get given around the country. I mean, it includes badminton classes, fitness classes. This is across the country. This is from Rotherham, Calderwood, Richmond Council, Kingston Council, Birmingham Council, Wandsworth. It's literally all over the country. And they are getting treated better than local army veterans, NHS nurses, you know...
And families who are struggling to take their kids out in the summer holidays to do nice things.
But how would these people be paid? How much are they paid, or where are they getting this money from?
Well, they get free discounts.
from the council.
They get an allowance to spend as well, but they're not told how they have to spend it. And they get, a lot of the time, these are complete freebies. But it's like, I keep coming back to the latest hotel, the Britannia Hotel in Tower Hamlets, which is my London borough, one of the poorest in London. Nearly 50% of the children are living below the poverty line. And those families are paying for people who have crossed the channel illegally to be put up in a four-star hotel. And people wonder why people are angry about this situation.
Well, I mean, look, I don't think there should be any of these migrants here. You know, well, we could sit and argue and debate and as to what circumstances. But once you have them, I think, Chris, you've got a responsibility to look.
Well,
after
I mean,
them.
that's was going through my mind. I mean, a lot of the people that are up in arms are saying that they've got these men hanging around their places and not quite sure who they are, what they're up to. But one thing for sure, if you have these men that are here now and they've got nothing else to do, the chances are, I mean, they were saying when I was a kid, the devil makes idle hands, makes things for idle hands. Before you know it, that's how they would get themselves in trouble. So while I understand what Dawn is saying, the juxtaposition between them getting all these nice things and then the person on the ground, hard-working person, or the person who's actually unemployed at the moment, getting nothing. I do understand that tension, but actually you have got to look after these guys. They've got to do something.
Yeah, but if there's a discount scheme, surely it just needs to go to pensioners or young mothers or veterans first.
Well, yeah.
Or apply to everybody.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we should discount it, those very worthwhile groups. I was actually just saying that if these guys are not occupied, then they're going to find mischief for themselves.
Well, the bottom line is they shouldn't be here in the first place.
Yeah.
Smash the gangs.
Yeah.
Chris, let's have a look at, I think, one of my favourite stories this morning. And this is the daughter of the inventor of the Fredo chocolate bar, which we have in front of us. Now, I remember at school these were 10p. 10p, 20p?
You remember them at school?
Yeah.
So we had a discussion in the green room, and I was absolutely hammered.
Are they the same size as the words?
I think they've got smaller, you know.
Of course they have.
Or maybe I've got bigger.
Well,
No,
we have all got bigger. You haven't actually got any bigger. You're still tiny. But, yeah, they have got smaller. Shrinkflation is a thing.
Is a thing. Jack, how much did you pay for this morning? Producer Jack ran out and got these this morning. £1.66 for 4. So let's do some quick maths. 41p each.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, I'm sure I remember them. You've just beheaded Fredo.
I had to snatch it off him in the break.
Are you eating from the top or the bottom? No, you've eaten his head.
They're so good, aren't they?
I'm sure I remember these being about 5p, but this story is the daughter of the person that invented Fredo saying that her dad would be turning in his grave at how expensive they are. Because
I bet he would, yeah.
Depending on where you buy them, you can actually spend £1 for one of these. And they are tiny, weeny, as you can see there. I haven't bitten mine off yet.
18 grams, they're tiny.
The more shocking part of this entire story, Chris Akabusi, is that Chris is the only man on earth...
I've never heard of a Fredo.
What?
I've never heard of a Fredo. And look, there's no way. And then Dawn was trying to tell me that they were around when I was a kid. Absolutely.
You haven't lived. Eat it now. Open.
There's no way that a Fredo... I don't, you know... And then I was thinking, he says here that Fredo is used as a common yardstick to track inflation. No, it used to be the Mars bar.
No, it's the Fredo.
It used to be the Mars bar.
The humble Fredo.
This is... So what's so special about the Fredo?
Just eat it. It's amazing. Cheers.
Oh, cheers with you.
Bing.
Well, Chris, tracking the financial index yesterday,
yes,
I decided to have a Mars bar. And I was able to have 2 of them because they were so small.
Yeah.
So tiny.
Absolutely.
And thin.
Absolutely.
A disgrace of what a Mars bar used to be, or an Aztec bar, or a Topic bar, or...
Yeah, there you go.
Anything, yeah.
But you don't remember Fredo.
No, so...
we are the same
Wagon
generation.
wheels, curly whirly, a Cavamac.
Yeah.
Fredo?
Fruit salads and blackjacks.
Fruit salad and blackjacks, yeah.
Right, OK.
Cola tubes, pineapple chunks.
Well, we're the same generation, right? We grew up roughly in the same part of London. Why do I remember Fredo's and you?
I haven't got a dolly. I haven't got a dolly blue. There's no way.
I identify with everything you said there. Everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You had
all the
those.
sweets. The sweets of our childhood.
Yeah.
We used to get
Absolutely.
50p.
Sherbet dip.
50p on a Friday, and we could get whatever we wanted. And I remember a Freddo was 10.
But your 50p wouldn't go far today.
It wouldn't go far today. You wouldn't even get a Freddo.
No.
In some shops for that. But I used to be able to get this and some sweets.
And don't get started on wagon wheels. At least you know what a wagon wheel is.
Yeah, absolutely, wagon wheels.
Definitely small.
Yeah.
Definitely small.
Wagon wheels from Weston, and they're only 4p. that was the advert.
I can't quite remember the wagon wheel advert.
No, me neither.
I know, Milky Bar Kids. I can remember the Milky Bar.
Yeah,
Milky Bar
absolutely.
Kiddies.
Dawn, can you tell us about this very expensive duvet, please?
Oh, God. Yes. Of course. This is our... would you pay £12,460 for a John Lewis duvet?
No, or anybody's duvet.
Or anybody's, but John Lewis is the one selling it. It's an Emperor size. What is that, by the way? Icelandic eiderdown cover from its ultimate collection. The duvet promises pure luxury and has raised eyebrows. I would say that's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
Because you can furnish your entire house for that.
Who would you be trying to impress with a 12.5 grand duvet set? I mean, what is...
It's not even a set, it's just a duvet.
What's it made of?
Some sort of eiderdown...
Icelandic feathers things.
Oh, my gosh. No.
It's a winter weight, so it's a... Yeah. And a full... Yeah, no, it's a full... To be fair, it's a full set of bedding, so you do get a couple of pillows with it.
Well, you'd hope so for 12 grand.
No. Actually, no. The full set is £26,000.
No, you're joking.
No, I'm not even joking. I'm not making this up. It's here.
You know...
More money than sense. More money than
Lionel Richie once told me, he said, Eamonn, he said, never eat chocolate and broadcast.
And now you know why.
And now you know
and
why.
I've just realised why. It's just made me sneeze,
Yeah.
cough, everything else.
Yeah.
No. Don't do it. Don't do it.
And for the Weight Watchers amongst you, by the way.
Do you know anybody famous yourself?
Me, Eamonn Holmes. I've known him for a long
That's
time.
pretty bad.
You know
That's
how many
pretty bad.
calories are in this?
Guys, thank you very
95.
much indeed. We say goodbye to Dawn and Chris. I'll have your Fredo if you're not going to have it. Greg
enjoy that.
Dewhurst, what's the weather having out there? Let's have a look.
Today, clouds overhead, total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. And it's a bit of a north-south split in the weather first thing this morning. Quite cloudy and damp across northern parts of the UK, but plenty of sunshine across England and Wales in particular. There are a few mist and fog patches through this morning. They should clear, and then generally for most it will be a dry day, plenty of sunny spells. The rain across Northern Ireland, Northern England will become increasingly confined to northern parts of Scotland as we move through into the afternoon. Still one or two heavier bursts possible across the Highlands here. Temperatures around 17 to 19 Celsius, but elsewhere feeling hot in the sunshine, the high 20s to low 30s, and that could potentially spark one or two thunderstorms as we move through into the evening time, something we need to keep an eye on. But that band of rain still giving some outbreaks of rain across northern Scotland through the evening, one or two heavy bursts possible, but elsewhere across Scotland, plenty of sunny spells, temperatures in the low 20s. Similar picture across Northern Ireland as well. One or two showers perhaps possible. Largely dry across England and Wales, but an increasing risk of one or two heavy showers or thunderstorms across the southwest. Just stay tuned to the forecast. There could be some localised disruption from this, but most places will stay dry. They will push slowly northwards as we go through the evening and overnight. Again, most places dry, but don't be surprised if you just get woken up by the odd rumble of thunder across parts of England and Wales into perhaps Northern Ireland too. Generally dry across Scotland, but further rain across Orkney and Shetland. And temperatures for most in double figures. A muggy start to Tuesday morning, but a bright start, plenty of sunny spells, any overnight showers starting to fade away, and then it should be another lovely day, plenty of hot sunshine. But again, into the afternoon, one or two thunderstorms are possible. Most places missing these, lots of dry weather to come, lots of sunshine, and temperatures most likely peaking around central southeastern parts at 33 degrees.
Today, clouds overhead, total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The The A898 northbound Erskine Bridge is closed for weekend roadworks, with restrictions southbound. Various slip road closures are signed. The M4 westbound is closed between junction 45 Innisforgan and junction 46 Llangefferlac for inspections, with diversions. In West Berkshire, an accident on the M4 eastbound entry slip at junction 13 involves a vehicle off the road, closing a lane. One lane is closed on the M3 westbound in Surrey between junctions 2 and 3 due to a broken down vehicle. And on the trains, cross-country faces disruption between Leicester and Nuneaton. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
There's just 3 weeks to see how you could win your mortgage or rent paid for a whole year. That's a cash lump sum equivalent to 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to a whopping £20,000. Plus, we'll add an extra £5,000 on top for good measure. Make sure you don't miss out as lines close on the 29th of August. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, he didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK, we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News, the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Hello there, very good morning to you on this Monday morning. Thank you for starting your day and your week with us. The government has announced more foreign criminals will be deported before any appeal.
Yes, criminals from 23 countries will no longer be able to delay their deportation by appealing against the decision to remove them.
Now, the Home Office claims it will stop 3,000 offenders from playing the system, clogging up prisons and dragging out appeals.
However, as the former Justice Secretary Alex Chalk has slammed the move, warning rapists and violent criminals could walk free abroad on taxpayer-funded flights.
Meanwhile, more than 1,100 small boat migrants have crossed the Channel since the new UK-France partial returns deal came into operation. What's ever happened to that? Provisional figures gained by us show 281 arrived on 5 small boats yesterday.
Sir Keir Starmer's Chagos Islands deal will cost 10 times more than what he originally claimed. It's now reaching £35 billion.
J.D. Vance has declared that President Trump will force Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky into direct talks at the end to end the war, but dismissed calls by European leaders for the Ukrainian president to join the upcoming Alaska summit, which will probably be held this week.
Sport this morning, Crystal Palace won the Community Shield by beating Liverpool in penalties, but they await another big result later today. Sheffield Wednesday fans protested at Leicester over their dodgy ownership, and in golf, veteran, if you're 45 years old, I guess it makes you a veteran these days, Justin Rose has won his first PGA title in 2 years.
Hello there. The 4th summer heatwave officially beginning across parts of the UK. Find out all the weather details coming up soon.
coming up to 2 minutes past 8 o'clock. Thank you for your company. I'm Eamonn Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello, and this is GB News Breakfast. I think this might be my favourite story today.
Which is?
It's about a baby goat called Lil. And Lil was abandoned by her mother at birth.
Oh.
So she was taken in by 2 sheepdog. And these 2 sheepdogs have adopted the goat, and the goat thinks she is a sheepdog.
She does.
And she even looks like one because she's black and white.
The sheepdogs think she's a sheepdog because she's black and white.
Yeah, and I think she thinks that as well.
So the sheep doesn't think it's a sheepdog. The sheep knows it's a goat, though, isn't it? Or is it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Hey, listen, getting lots of good reports. People saying about you talking to cricket legend Geoffrey Boycott.
Oh yeah, I should mention this because I was working with Jeff Boycott, legendary Sir Geoffrey Boycott, who I know is a fan of the show and loves you and loves Ellie as well. Can't stand me, but I was with him on Friday.
Yeah.
Lovely man, and I was pretty nervous about meeting Sir Jeff Boycott because I thought he would be quite a feisty character, but what a lovely man.
And he watches every morning.
Every morning, and his wife Rachel. Good morning, Sir Jeff. Good morning, Rachel.
With a lot of followers in the sports community, whether they're golfers or whether they're cricketers or whether they're footballers.
Because they know that they can learn about the sport when I come on.
Indeed.
And I can help them in their career.
They love to play birthdays.
They do, you know what? They do love the birthdays. And it also, Sir Jeff particularly liked it when he was in...
It was his birthday.
Oh, it was his birthday?
Yeah.
I bet that was fun. OK.
Right, let's cross to Westminster now. I don't think it's Mel Stride's birthday today, but he is the Shadow Chancellor, and we're here to talk to him today. Always a pleasure to speak to you, Mr. Stride. The Chagos Islands making headlines today, and we're just all slightly, our viewers and listeners are a bit worried. Was this a mistake by Starmer in saying this would cost £3 billion? Did he mean £3 billion a year? Overall, are we talking practically £40 billion? What sort of situation is this deal in?
Well, I think what we've discovered, Eamonn, just to unpack what's happened here, is that through a Freedom of Information request, we have managed to establish the precise calculations of the figure that the government has been putting forward. Now, the Prime Minister back in February in the House of Commons suggested about £3.4 billion for the total cost of this arrangement, and we've established that it's about 10 times that. It's about £35 billion. That's the cost over the 99 years involved here. And it all gets rather technical as to how they've narrowed this number down so much, but part of it is assumptions around inflation, but also giving the numbers a very severe haircut using something known as the, I think it's called the public service discount or something like that for longer term projects, and that has reduced the number very significantly. Now, given that the PM said back in February it was one figure and it turns out to be 10 times as much, we will of course be pressing the government very hard on this when Parliament comes back in the autumn.
Will you be asking for in September?
Sorry?
Will you be asking from the Prime Minister in September? Will you be asking him to address these figures? Will you be asking for an apology?
Yeah, absolutely. We will be saying in no uncertain terms, look, we were told back in February when, in fact, for example, we had been suggesting then a figure of between 9 and 16 billion, and his response was, quote, that was wide of the mark, suggesting it was far less than this. And indeed, the government has used lesser figures since then. So we will be saying, look, why has it taken the Conservative Party in a Freedom of Information request to expose this information and this dreadful situation where actually the costs to the taxpayer are about 10 times what the government have been suggesting. Now, that's not money that's going to go on helping public services or indeed defending our country in an ever more uncertain world. That is money that is going to the government of Mauritius, who incidentally have recently cut taxes for their own citizens, partly because of the funding that they're now receiving from us. This thing is just totally and utterly unacceptable.
In fairness, Keir Starmer may have been telling the truth, Mel, when you think wide of the mark. You just assumed he meant wide of the mark, meaning your figures were too high, and he's thinking, not high enough, if only you knew, mate.
Well, no, I think people understand that when you talk about the cost of an arrangement the last 99 years, you take the annual amount and you add up all the figures and you get to your number. And as I say, what is now materialised as we've got this information through the Freedom of Information request is not only has a discount been applied because of an assumption around inflation, but also a further discount applied because of the long-term nature of this arrangement. Now, Angela Rayner, when she came out and told everybody how much the Labour government would be spending on social housing going forward, did similar kind of calculations, but didn't use the same methodology at all, because in that case the government of course wanted to inflate the numbers to make them look bigger. On this occasion they've used a different methodology to try and make the number look substantially smaller, and we don't think that's being straight with the British people.
It's not.
Can I ask you about the government's deport now, appeal later schemes? The idea is to deport foreign criminals immediately before they can appeal in England and Wales. So the government is saying this is going to make the streets safer, it's going to save taxpayers' money, it's going to help the burden on our prisons. Sounds quite good, doesn't it?
Well, just to be really clear here, Ellie, this was an approach and a scheme that the Conservative government brought in 2014. What the government is saying now is that they will extend the provisions of that arrangement to include other countries. So in terms of the principle here, yeah, I think it's the right thing to be doing. What you want to do is, if you've denied somebody their asylum claim and they appeal, it's much better that they appeal having been deported and from overseas than that they remain here clogging up the system and still being in the UK when, of course, they may not ultimately have any right to be here at all. So that's absolutely fine. But look, the root of the problem here, as we all know, is that this government has not smashed the gangs as they said they would. We've had 25,000 more illegal migrants coming across the Channel this year. That is an all-time record, and these numbers, I'm afraid, are going in the wrong direction.
Issues, we'd need to leave the ECHR, wouldn't we? In terms of deporting foreign criminals, those countries would have to accept them. And in terms of stopping the boats and smashing the gangs, whatever you want to call it, we'd need to leave the ECHR, wouldn't we, in order to get anybody deported?
Well, Kemi Badenoch has made it very clear that we now have a review into the issue of the ECHR, and she's made it clear that if, in the view of that review, the ECHR is a clear impediment to our ability to deport people, many of whom will, for example, be quite dangerous and really don't belong in our country, then we will act accordingly. Now, Lord Wolfson is carrying out that review at the moment, and I'm sure it won't be too long before it reports back. But we have made it clear that we should have a deportation bill which would, for example, basically distance ourselves or exile ourselves from the Human Rights Act for the purposes of deportation. We should be setting clear targets for net migration in Parliament. We should be tightening up this system, but at the heart of it there has to be deterrence, and of course we had that with the Rwanda scheme that was about to be operationalised before the last immediately after the last general election. But one of the first things this government did was to abandon that scheme. So the root of the problem is this government is just not gripping illegal migration or net migration either.
Shadow Chancellor, we'll leave it there. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. That's what the Shadow Chancellor's saying.
Thank you.
If you've got anything you'd like to take exception with or agree with, get in touch with us and have your say. Deputy Political Editor for the Mail on Sunday, Anna Mikhailova, this morning now, with her perspective on this. Yet again, it's another bad look for Keir Starmer over these Chagos Island figures and deals and how long it's going to last and what it's going to cost us, Anna.
Yes, indeed. I mean, the question is, has the government been upfront about its own figures? So that's obviously what everyone's going to be asking off the back of that story. But I think the immediate crisis remains the crossings from the Channel. So we've had more numbers over the weekend. You've got a visible sign of Yvette Cooper and Shabana Mahmood really trying to get a grip, announcing this spate of changes to deportations that you've been discussing, trying to get more foreign criminals out early. But a lot of people will look at that and say, you know, yes, that is what what we should be doing, but the numbers that will affect are tiny compared to how many are coming in every single week.
And this is the problem, isn't it? I mean, if we are not leaving the ECHR, then we're not stemming the flow of people that are coming over the channel, and the problem will never go away.
Well, it's two things. It's the ECHR allows easier challenge using human rights legislation to try and stay in the country and thwart attempts to deport people. The second thing is we also make, just through the nature of our benefit system, through the generosity of the British system, we are more attractive than other countries are. So between those two, that effectively becomes a significant pool. So really, to try and stem the demand for coming here in this way, what the government needs to do is, as a lot of people argue, do something about one of these issues. And the ECHR issue will really come to the fore in September, when you're going to have two parties effectively expected to pledge to leave it as their main focus point of their conference. So it'll be reform. Nigel Farage is expected to have that as his big announcement, and then Kemi Badenoch is expected to say similar later on. So that will just pile further pressure on the government to do more on this.
Anna, thanks for putting this in the picture. We appreciate it. Anna is the Deputy Political Editor for The Mail on Sunday. Now, the potential peace deal between Russia and Ukraine, which is happening this week. Could a potential peace deal actually take place on that? Let's now speak to Kim Darroch. Kim is Lord Kim Darroch, former British ambassador to the United States, and he's speaking to us today from Surrey. Kim, how do you think this is going to shape up this week, and who's in what corner? I mean, is Trump punching for Putin, or is he on Zelensky's side?
I think there's a fair way to run still until it happens, Eamonn, because it's on Friday. It's the first meeting between Trump and Putin since I think about 2018, and the first US-Russia summit since I think 2022. So it's a rare event, and of course, Putin is heavily sanctioned across the West. So in a way, the US are disregarding all the sanctions, the fact that he has been indicted under the International Criminal Court for what's going on in Ukraine. So this is an unexpected meeting, and it's very Donald Trump that he's doing things the opposite way round from what would normally be the case. Normally there would be officials preparing this meeting for weeks beforehand, narrowing areas of difference, finding areas of agreement, trying to make sure it comes off looking as good as it can. Trump does things differently, and he's going straight into the meeting with Putin without very much preparation. Do I think it will deliver a peace deal? I don't. I think that the problem here is that the two sides, Ukraine and Russia, are still miles apart. And Russia essentially demands from Ukraine three things. One, that Ukraine surrenders all the territory that Russia holds, plus a bit more. That's 20% plus of Ukrainian territory that Putin wants. Second, Putin wants Zelensky to promise that Ukraine will never, ever join NATO. And third, he wants Ukrainian disarmament. And I think it's inconceivable that Zelensky would ever make those sort of concessions. And by the way, European countries wouldn't support that kind of deal either. So I don't think there's a great prospect of huge progress. But the thing here is that Donald Trump is deeply unpredictable, and who knows what he's going to put on the table when he sees Putin. And Putin wants to keep Trump on side. He doesn't want these secondary sanctions introduced. So there's a lot that we can't anticipate, that we don't know about how this meeting will unfold.
Do you think this meeting in Alaska will look like? Do you think that is Putin just trying to stop these secondary sanctions taking place with actually no intention of ending the war?
It's interesting that Putin is presenting, the Russian regime is presenting its own people this meeting as not about Ukraine, but about improving US-Russia bilateral relations. So they're putting a different focus on it from the way we're seeing it in the West. I think Putin is trying to keep Trump just enough on side so that the sanctions don't get worse, so that relations between the US and Russia, his personal relations with Trump, don't disintegrate. But I don't think, honestly, he has any intention of making big concessions. And unless he does, that's why I don't think you're going to make much progress. The one thing I would think is just about possible is maybe there'll be some agreement on a temporary ceasefire. Putin doesn't want a permanent ceasefire because he thinks that benefits Ukraine more than him, but a temporary ceasefire so there could be some talks at whatever level between the US, Ukraine and Russia on a possible way forwards. I think that's about the most optimistic I can be. I don't think even that's a given, but I think that's one possibility.
Well, you're the man that knows the possibilities, former British ambassador to the United States, Lord Kim Darroch. Thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate your time and your analysis this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, it's set to be a lovely week weather-wise. 31 degrees in London tomorrow, did you know?
Yeah, that's nice.
Very nice. Yeah. Got all the details now with Greg Dewhurst.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. And it's a bit of a north-south split in the weather first thing this morning. Quite cloudy and damp across northern parts of the UK, but plenty of sunshine across England and Wales in particular. There are a few mist and fog patches through this morning. They should clear, and then generally for most it will be a dry day, plenty of sunny spells. The rain across Northern Ireland, Northern England will become increasingly confined to northern parts of Scotland as we move through into the afternoon. Still 1 or 2 heavier bursts possible across the Highlands here. Temperatures around 17 to 19 Celsius, but elsewhere feeling hot in the sunshine, the high 20s to low 30s, and that could potentially spark 1 or 2 thunderstorms as we move through into the evening time, something we need to keep an eye on. But that band of rain still giving some outbreaks of rain across northern Scotland through the evening, 1 or 2 heavy bursts possible, but elsewhere across Scotland, plenty of sunny spells, temperatures in the low 20s. Similar picture across Northern Ireland as well. 1 or 2 showers perhaps possible. Largely dry across England and Wales, but an increasing risk of 1 or 2 heavy showers or thunderstorms across the southwest. Just stay tuned to the forecast. There could be some localised disruption from this, but most places will stay dry. They will push slowly northwards as we go through the evening and overnight. Again, most places dry, but don't be surprised if you just get woken up by the odd rumble of thunder across parts of England and Wales into perhaps Northern Ireland too. Generally dry across Scotland, but further rain across Orkney and Shetland. And temperatures for most in double figures. A muggy start to Tuesday morning, but a bright start, plenty of sunny spells, any overnight showers starting to fade away, and then it should be another lovely day, plenty of hot sunshine. But again, into the afternoon, 1 or 2 thunderstorms are possible. Most places missing these, lots of dry weather to come, lots of sunshine, and temperatures most likely peaking around central southeastern parts at 33 degrees.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Now it's time for the Great British Giveaway and your chance to live mortgage or rent-free for an entire year, plus get an extra £5,000 in your bank account to play with.
Yeah, they don't call it great for nothing.
It's true. And also, if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, very lucky person,
we'll give you £15,000 cash instead. Have a go.
We want to send some of those monthly financial stresses packing this August with your chance to be mortgage or rent-free for 12 whole months. We'll give you a cash lump sum that equals 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to an amazing £20,000. We'll also throw in an extra £5,000 on top of that for good measure, because why not? And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you. We'll give you £15,000 tax-free cash instead. What are you waiting for? Lines will close on the 29th of August. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus 1 standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus 1 standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entry start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge, or post your name and number to GB15, PO Box 8690, Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Now do stay with us. Still to come, Paul Coit will be here with all your sports. That's next.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racist tonight on the...
Unpredictable.
What did she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Patrick Christie's Tonight. Weekdays from 9 p.m.
What on earth is going on at our university? So Professor Stephen Greer had worked for the University of Bristol for 36 years when his career was halted after a false accusation of Islamophobia. The issue arose when Greer taught about the Charlie Hebdo attacks during a human rights module, and a student who didn't actually attend the course complained. Well, I'm delighted now to be joined by Stephen Greer himself to explain what happened. Stephen, thank you very much. Tremendous to have you on the show. Can you just explain the circumstances that led up to you being accused of Islamophobia, please?
Well, out of the blue, or almost out of the blue, I received a complaint about a module I'd been teaching on a unit, a human rights unit, entitled Islam, China and the Far East, for nearly 15 years without incident. Which included the increasing critical literature about human rights issues in Islam, China, and the Far East. And my principally, as I said, the principal complaint, it did include a complaint about Charlie Hebdo, but the principal complaint was about the fact that I had referred students to the authoritative academic literature. And the student who complained was the president of BRISOC, the University of Bristol Islamic Society, who was a medical student who'd not attended any of the course himself, and he claimed to be acting on behalf of anonymous students. And there were all kinds of other procedural irregularities in the complaint, but the university decided to entertain it anyway. Okay. And I was exonerated after a 5-month inquiry. Then the university said, well, they were publicly announced. They took the module off the syllabus.
GB News, the People's Channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
We've got Paul, and he's got the sports news.
Well, actually, you know what I mentioned first, if that's all right?
What?
Is Ray Brooks died.
Well, the actor.
Ray Brooks, the actor, age of 86. Big deal, which is in the 80s. Kathy Come Home, legendary kitchen sink drama, and he was in a great film called The Knack.
The thing about it, a lot of people wouldn't know Ray Brooks, but you will know the characters and the voices, and you'd say, oh, that's him.
And I think more than anything else, everybody will remember that he was the voice of Mr. Ben.
Yeah.
Only made 13 episodes of Mr. Ben.
Really?
Only made 13.
Oh, we never complained about repeats, did we, when we watched Mr. Ben?
Well, Mr. Ben was brilliant. You'd watch it as if by magic, the shopkeeper, and all that going on. So, yeah. So
like Bagpuss, it was similar sort of thing.
Yeah, same time. It was all that. It was all on at about the same time, wasn't it?
They wouldn't make programmes like that for kids nowadays.
Unfortunately,
too expensive.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But they would repeat them the way they repeated Mr. Ben there.
Yeah, Mr.
Anyway, Mr. Paul.
Yes, Mr. Paul.
What have you got?
Because Basil Brush used to do that, didn't he?
Hey.
Mr. Yeah. Yeah, boom, boom. Because it used to be Mr. Derek or Mr. That's what I always think when you say Mr. Paul. I always think Basil Brush.
That's quite nice.
I think so. Community Shield, right? Liverpool 2, Palace 2, and it went to penalties, which Crystal Palace won. And I thought it was terrific. Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it, and I enjoyed it very much that the young lad whose name I've forgotten now, who scored the winner, the last one, the last penalty came on.
Oh yeah, Devaney, Justin Devaney,
Yeah,
he's 21.
He had a chance. He put a shot on target. He just came on, and then he hit the last penalty. Brilliant.
It was the best penalty of the lot, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
But again, a lot of penalties, a lot of tippy-tappy, let's stoppy-starty penalties, which just drive me crazy. You know, they look good if they go in, but I'd say that, even then, you just think, why just go up and hit the ball in the back of the net?
We don't need the theatrics.
Don't need the theatrics, Ellie.
We say that but a lot of the time in football, though.
A lot of new players, and we're seeing some of them there on show for Liverpool and whatever. I thought the Palace were interesting. I think their squad is thin.
Yeah.
Though they did have 10 people on the bench.
Yeah.
Well, when the days used to have one substitute.
I know. Before that, there was nothing. But now there's just like a whole other squad now. But that's it. It's all strength in depth. And you know what's interesting? When you speak to players, and I often do from years before, that would go, yeah, but we won the time. When we did it with 12 men and that was it. But the game is so different now. And the thing is, if you can use more substitutes, you're going to use them. It's just there's more and there's more and there's more. But also, I do want to mention the minute silence for Diogo Jota. And I don't want to highlight something which is so negative, but it was quite important that there was a noise that came from Crystal Palace fans, and then you get someone, probably from their own fans, who'll tell them to shut up. And this is when there's supposed to be a minute silence. I've seen it so many times before. Then the other fans, they'll start shouting, and then it just descends into chaos. So the whole minute silence ended up being ruined.
It was so beautiful and so respectful, and the alternative is to have a minute's applause.
And I think that's a cop-out.
You do?
Sometimes I can understand why.
There's more reverence with silence.
Well, that's it. I mean, it means so much more. The applause, the main reason, I'm sure, is to avoid idiots that do shout. But can't people just be a little bit more respectful? Really? I mean, that's all it takes. Let me mention something that happened with Heung-min Son. Heung-min Son, as we know, and I'm getting over it, by the way. I'm doing OK. Ellie, you're struggling a little bit.
I'm still struggling.
He's gone to Los Angeles.
I know.
He's taking the money.
Yeah, well,
I think it's going to feel very different.
But the thing is, do you think he's gone for the money?
Yeah.
Well, why else would you go to Los Angeles?
And an easier life.
To play.
To play for who?
Los Angeles.
No, he's going for of course he's going for the money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money involved, but, you know...
The lad's, what, 33 or so?
33?
Yeah.
I could go to... If he wanted the money, he could have gone to Saudi Arabia for the really big money, but didn't fancy that. Do you know they put on his shirt... I mean, how weird is this? Because, I don't know, it may not be weird, but he had debut written on his shirt. It's like joining the Cub Scouts or something like that. It's his first game for LA, so they had the word debut. But the thing that I really enjoyed was Heather Hutt. Now, Heather Hutt, I don't know if you're familiar with her work. She's I've
seen all her films.
Los Angeles. Did you have to reach up for those, by the way? The LA City Council member. Now, this is Heather Hutt, and she tried to explain how happy she was that Heung-min Son was joining Los Angeles, but I don't think she quite understands how the World Cup works. Have a look at this.
No pressure, but when we, you know what I'm gonna say, right? But when World Cup comes, we're expecting a win here in Los Angeles for the USA, aren't we, everybody? And there you go. And so we're here to support you to get that done. So welcome. I bought something because my grandma taught me don't go somewhere without bringing a gift. So here you go. Thank you.
Oh, bless.
I think he just went like that. It's just like, she's going, well, it's great that you're here and we got the World Cup and you're going to play and you can represent. It's like, no, he plays for Korea. He's not American.
He can win
He's
for the
white. He
USA.
plays soccer, so what? Here's a gift. She had no idea who he is.
He's so polite, though. He just smiled.
He would take it. So thank you very much.
Nice.
Rose, really, it's a bit of a disaster. So anyway.
And just finally, Dean Henderson, what a sweetheart.
Oh, yes.
Buying drinks for everyone.
He did. He bought drinks for everybody after his great performance at the Community Shield. Do we have that? I think we have Dean Henderson buying drinks for everybody, and I think he put £1,000 behind the bar. Look at this. Oh, well, there he is, just standing there.
And he takes selfies as well.
With his cap on. But I thought it was interesting. Who's the last goalkeeper you remember wearing a cap?
Oh, my goodness me. Alex Stepney, how about that?
Yeah, I'd go for that. Ray Clements.
Ray Clements used to wear a cap.
Used to wear it all the time.
Sutton, always with the sun, with the cap on, yeah.
But I thought it was really an unfair advantage. You know, when you've got the sun right in your eyes, you thought whoever designed this stadium surely should have worked out where the sun would be at a certain day. So you've got 3/4 of the stadium in darkness.
Yeah.
And then just a quarter in huge sunlight.
But the thing is, if you've got Wembley Stadium, you can't turn it round.
No, but sorry, they did turn it round.
Well, they didn't use the...
They did.
They didn't.
Look, see, he thinks I'm making this up again, right?
I don't. I just think you're wrong.
Well, I'm not. I'm right. Right. So Wembley Stadium is not in the direction that where England won the '66 World Cup. It used to be that way. Now it's turned around. And if you don't believe me, look it up during the commercial break.
I will have to.
You will?
I'm sorry, I will have to.
Every day is a school day.
It is, but I don't believe my school day is over. I'm certain, because you walk up Wembley Way, and there it is. There. And the Twin Towers were there, and you walk straight in. No.
Yes, Paul. Never mind, no, yes.
Have a Google. We'll reconvene.
We'll Google.
OK.
And while he's Googling away, we'll give you a travel update here. Your traffic and travel reports. Have a look.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning. This is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A898 northbound Erskine Bridge is closed for weekend roadworks. Southbound restrictions are in place. Various slip roads are closed. On the M8 at junction 30, the westbound off-slip to M898 northbound is closed with diversions. The M6 in Staffordshire southbound at junction 12 faces a lane closure due to a broken vehicle causing delays. The M4 westbound is closed with diversions. And on the trains, Avanti West Coast and London North Western Railway report major disruptions between Watford Junction and London Euston. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Now, do stay with us. Still to come, Dawn Neeson and Chris Akabusi are joining us to go through the papers this morning after they've finished sipping on their cocktails. But first, if you fancy sipping cocktails and some holiday sun, here's the forecast where the sun is shining across Europe.
Dinner under the stars tonight?
That reminds me of our travel insurance.
You mean all clear skies?
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Hello, the heat wave continues across much of Europe. Plenty of hot sunshine to come. Could trigger 1 or 2 thunderstorms in places, particularly during the evening and overnight periods, but plenty of sunshine to come by day. Eastern Mediterranean temperatures reaching the mid to high 30s in places. 1 or 2 showers possible across Spain and Portugal inland, but coastal stretches temperatures well above average in that sunshine. And it remains hot and sunny for the rest of the week, temperatures above average.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in, and stay ahead.
You've read the headlines, you've heard what those in power have to say. How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record. You say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently. It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it? It's explosive. I mean, this is very good. It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial. And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born. It's everything you need to kickstart your evening. Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it. That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Join me, Nana Akwe, for an informative, interactive news programme with a difference. It's fun.
No, you didn't say that, Dave.
I'm so surprised.
I think there's an element of truth to that.
Join me from 3 p.m. every weekend, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK, we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News, the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Some breaking news just coming in about the situation of, well, indeed, how Wembley Stadium is situated. We go to Paul Coit for that.
The news is Wembley, Eamonn, did not move. Well, it did a little bit. It just moved up 30 metres, but there was no twist in access. So please trust everything that I say from now on. Please don't doubt it. Thank you very much.
So it didn't twist?
No, I didn't hear a word of that, Paul, but what did he say there, Ellie?
It moved back a little bit, but didn't twist.
It didn't turn.
It didn't
turn.
But it's in a different position.
We're just about 30 metres.
It's in a different position. I told you, in a different position.
Well, you did say it turned, to be fair.
Actually,
you said it turned on its axis.
Well, I'm glad to now that when I look at it, I'm not looking and thinking that's different from when it was in 66 or 70 or whatever it happened to be. So that's nice. A bit of history still preserved and journalists over-exaggerating the situation. our sporting colleagues.
Go on.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Roy T, for fact-checking. We need to fact-check. You'd have us believe it was twisting and turning.
It was twisted and turned.
It wasn't, it was reversing. There you go.
Let's twist and shout like we did last summer. Wrong part.
Oh, no.
That was Chris Agabusi. And Dawn Neeson is here as well. And Dawn, push-ups we're going to talk about first.
I can't do a push-up.
Right, OK, well...
I find it too hard.
Can you do a squat?
Yes.
Right, OK.
I find push-ups easier than squats.
Yeah.
Well, because you've got, you're not as mobile with your hips at the moment. In any case, push-ups are officially the nation's most hated exercise.
I'm not surprised.
But it seems Brits do love to squat, and we use jam jars as weights at home.
That's quite a good idea.
Weights. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, more than 1 in 3 people dislike push-ups, folled by burpees.
I hate burpees.
Burpees, they're challenging, yeah.
They are very challenging, yeah, no, absolutely. In any case, this is the latest survey about what we like doing at home. Who is it by?
Excuse me, what is a burpee?
Age UK.
What is a burpee? Is it something to do with burping?
No.
So you get down, knees up to your chest, knees back down, and you hop back
up. Like a frog. Yeah. Chris, would you like to demonstrate? You're the athlete here.
Yeah.
It's really hard.
I can do it. I can do it. But
Chris, be careful.
It's been a long while, fellas. It's been a long while.
Be careful.
Right,
basically,
this is a burpee. Yeah.
Very good.
Well done. Yeah. So that's a burpee.
Very very ugly, very inelegant. I used to do a lot better when I was a sportsman. But
Very
there you
good.
go.
And you didn't split your trousers.
And I did split my trousers.
And he did it in his suit as well.
Yes, exactly. So this is, in any case, a survey by Age UK, Act Now, Age Better campaign, encouraging us all to get fitter at home.
Yeah. I'm surprised, though, that a lot of people do it, because this is actually, all seriousness, it's great to have a little regime first thing in the morning. Push-ups, sit-ups, squat thrusts.
Do you do at-home workouts?
So I did do until a couple of years ago. I was obsessive because I had one of those watches, so I'd do my run, come back, do my little 7 exercises. I've got a little bit more lazy recently because I've been focused on my golf. So I didn't want to be...
But you're enjoying that. It's good you're getting out doing that.
Yeah. But the regimen, go out, do a 3-miler, come back, and then do your 7 exercises, boom.
I get open the wine fridge. I mean, it works.
Talking about the wine fridge, I'm really surprised to see this story. This is the Sun are carrying this online today. They're saying the drink-drive limit could be slashed as part of a new road safety plan. Tell us more, Chris, on that.
Yeah, they're saying basically this hasn't been looked at since 2006, and there's been a few accidents that have made people a little bit wary about, on the one hand, drink driving, lower that down, but they've been focusing on over 70s and thinking that the eyes, and with the deterioration in the eyes, that is causing a lot of problems. However, I did a little bit of a research and found out that the highest demographic for accidents in the United Kingdom is 17 and 25-year-olds. They take more risks, they get distracted, and they get more tired while they're driving. Next comes the 86 plus, and they fade to... And I remember once seeing a picture of the late Duke of Edinburgh. Oh. He'd had an accident, and he was coming out of one of his country residents, and he couldn't quite look around the corner.
It was in
Sandringham, correctamundo. And so that caused an accident. So 86-year-olds often, that's what the cause of accidents. And then this is for the other demographic, 30 to 49, their causes of accidents is because they drive bigger and more powerful cars and do more mileage than the majority of us. So...
Well, it's all on nonsense, as usual, all of it, and I'll tell you why. I watch dedicatedly those programmes about police emergency stop, whatever it is. Only she's Channel 5, wall-to-wall with them. And you can drive around, you can be a joyrider, you can crash into this, that, you can steal cars, you can do whatever, and at the end you can get 3 points on your licence. I could get 3 points on my licence if I parked on a red line. Absolutely scandalous how lenient we are to bad drivers. And you doing a middle-of-the-road offence or a non-serious offence will get penalised far more than these head cases that do what they do. And drink is not their problem nowadays, it's drugs. And they don't seem to be recognising that. So rather than anybody being more lenient with this sort of thing, I think they should be getting tougher. I've had my say. See you for more right after this.
At GB News, we love to hear from you, our loyal community. So drop us a line at gbnews.com/yoursay. There you can talk to each other and also to the presenters live on air. gbnews.com/yoursay, because GB News is your channel, Britain's news channel.
Patrick Christie's Tonight, weekdays from 9 p.m.
Are the Prince and Princess of Wales animal abusers? It's time now for the head-to-head. Well, Peter's at it again, this time aiming at the Prince and Princess of Wales for daring to breed their Cocker Spaniels. The animal rights activists say that the royal couple are, quote, out of touch and slam them for churning out a litter while rescue centres are overflowing. It comes after Kensington Palace released a photo of Prince William and dog Orla and her 3 puppies, snapped by Kate for his 43rd birthday. So, Is it really cruel? Are the royals cruel for breeding their dogs? Well, going head-to-head on this now, I'm pleased to be joined by Senior Corporate Projects Manager at PETA, Dr Caris Bennett, and dog trainer John Allison.
There's all these dogs that are desperately needing a home. Why breed more dogs into the world? It sends the wrong message. And in fact, you don't have to look far to see the right message. King Charles and Camilla adopted Molly, a lovely dog from an animal rescue. And we encourage everyone to do the same. If you're looking to have a companion animal at home, please go to an animal rescue, never breed dogs.
It's very important to note that it's natural for dogs to breed and create their puppies. I think it's absolutely ludicrous to label the royal family irresponsible. We just have to look at their incredible record of animal welfare and how much they have done for animal welfare throughout the country. Unlike an organisation like PETA, who only recently contributed to dogs being put in rescue centres when they supported the banning of the XL bully.
GB News, the People's Channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racist tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
We're back going through the papers with Dawn Neeson and Chris Akabusi. Chris, let's have a look at love and a way to cut down on bills.
Yeah, I mean, this is in the Times front page, and 1 in 5 adults are stuck with a partner to keep costs down. I was just saying that it's always been so. I married Monica. And of course, I loved Monica when I married her. But a huge incentive to get married as a 23-year-old man was as a soldier, we got marriage allowance and we got a tax incentive as well, a tax break to getting married. So it was a huge incentive, of course. And if you thought of not half, you really fancy the lady you're with, you sort it out. So it's always been so that costs and the financial imperative has always been part and parcel, as far as I'm concerned, of the making the relationship work.
So that was at the start of a relationship. This also covers the end of a relationship where you just simply can't afford to split up with someone now. It is cheaper to stay together because you can't afford to put the property on the market, split the property, sort all that kind of stuff out.
Certainly if you're a bloke.
What? That's a very sexist comment, if you don't mind me saying so. Why does it make a difference if you're a bloke?
Well, I mean, gosh, getting divorced as a bloke is not it's not a nice thing. I mean, apart from the emotional.
Well, you have to split assets either way, don't you? If you're a man.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if it's caught up, I suspect yes. I mean, if a woman is a higher earner, then yeah. But typically, when a divorce happens, the fella gives over 50%. Plus future earnings, plus some sort of 3 or 4 or 5 year sort of sweetener, and before you know it, you're out on your bottom walking the streets, and your missus is in the house that you jointly owned once upon a time. Typically, and OK, tell me if I'm wrong. The great British public.
gbnews.com/your say.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yes. The other thing is, though, you can't get on the property ladder. You can't buy a home generally unless you've got 2 people's incomes together.
Right. Well, yes. I mean,
houses are so expensive these days. You get 4.5 times your salary. Most young people couldn't afford anything.
Ellie, that's a fantastic point too. So when I, as a young Lance Jack. No, actually, I was a sergeant. Married my missus. I could afford to take care of her and my child and rent a property on a basic wage. And my missus, Monica, she did sort of like pocket money stuff, but didn't go to work, Full-time. She couldn't do that now, and I couldn't do that now. Like you said, Ellie, both parents or both...
you need dual income.
Yeah,
Times have
absolutely.
changed.
Well, I tell you, if I was young and I was married to Halle Berry...
You'd have no complaints.
she didn't heat up a tin of soup or wash the dishes, I'd be saying, you, on your bike. On your bike, you can...
She would, she's Halle Berry. I chose this story for Ellie, the lovely newlywed Ellie. Halle Berry's first husband, their marriage lasted 4 years, by the way, he ended their marriage because he said she didn't cook and clean.
Does he not realise he's married to Halle Berry?
Who was out?
She's Halle Berry.
Maybe she wasn't Halle Berry then.
Yeah, she
think
was.
she's always been Halle Berry.
He says, she was always out working. She was building her career.
Because she's Halle
And I'm
Berry.
thinking, is this a woman I want to build a family and have kids with? She didn't cook. She didn't clean. She didn't seem that motherly. We started having issues.
Who is he? I mean, I'm sitting there.
Who cares? He's an idiot. She's Halle Berry.
No, but was he a substantive individual that could have taken care of his wife and...
Why didn't he do the cooking and cleaning, huh, Ellie? That's what I
Well, why
want.
didn't he get a cook and a cleaner?
100%.
Because she wasn't Halle Berry then.
She was building her career. His former Major League Baseball player, David Justice. Sorry, David, I slagged you off slightly there, but come on, I mean...
But I do have to say, generally, it would affect me if a partner was not house proud or and I'll put that in both, it's both people's responsibility.
Yeah, no, that one.
But if someone didn't pull their weight on that would be a very unattractive trait for me.
Yeah, but you would know that before you married them, don't you think?
No, but I'm saying if you did find out, it would be an unattractive trait.
there's someone being sort of
When
like...
you say not house proud, so again, my own personal circumstances, Monica was phenomenally house proud. Absolutely amazing.
Monica is lovely. She is gorgeous.
Yeah, she, absolutely, that's why I got kicked out. Don't worry about that. But but I went out there and I speared a bison. I saw my role as spearing the bison
in North London.
Yeah, skinning it, drawing it back in. There we go. We can all eat, and the home was fabulous. So sometimes you just split your roles. You split your roles.
No, that's fine if that's what you want to do. But this guy here clearly wanted a housewife.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But she's Halle Berry. She's in Hollywood. She's making films.
Exactly that.
So they got their wires crossed somewhere along the line.
Yeah, no, I know, but I mean, hey, come on. She was a flop in the kitchen. Yeah.
Dawn, if you're a flop in bed in that you're a snorer...
Hello, where's this one going?
What's your advice in 30 seconds?
What's the story? What is the story?
The conch.
Oh, the conch, yes, absolutely. Yeah, this is blowing through a conch shell. For 15 minutes, 5 days a week. It reduces snoring, evidently.
Oh.
So a big shell...
Who's got a conch hanging around?
Well, yeah.
You'd be surprised. Sometimes you see those... Some
people have them on a bookshelf.
Place in the country or something, and the house is full of big shells.
Well, it improves your lung flow so you don't snore as much, evidently.
OK.
That's a lot of time.
Thank you for improving our lung flow today.
Bless you.
Enjoyed it. See you again soon sometime. Greg Dewhurst, good morning.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. And it's a bit of a north-south split in the weather first thing this morning. Quite cloudy and damp across northern parts of the UK, but plenty of sunshine across England and Wales in particular. There are a few mist and fog patches through this morning. They should clear, and then generally for most it will be a dry day, plenty of sunny spells. The rain across Northern Ireland, Northern England will become increasingly confined to northern parts of Scotland as we move through into the afternoon. Still 1 or 2 heavier bursts possible across the Highlands here. Temperatures around 17 to 19 Celsius, but elsewhere feeling hot in the sunshine, the high 20s to low 30s, and that could potentially spark 1 or 2 thunderstorms as we move through into the evening time, something we need to keep an eye on. But that band of rain still giving some outbreaks of rain across northern Scotland through the evening, 1 or 2 heavy bursts possible, but elsewhere across Scotland, plenty of sunny spells, temperatures in the low 20s. Similar picture across Northern Ireland as well. 1 or 2 showers perhaps possible. Largely dry across England and Wales, but an increasing risk of 1 or 2 heavy showers or thunderstorms across the southwest. just stay tuned to the forecast. There could be some localised disruption from this, but most places will stay dry. They will push slowly northwards as we go through the evening and overnight. Again, most places dry, but don't be surprised if you just get woken up by the odd rumble of thunder across parts of England and Wales into perhaps Northern Ireland too. Generally dry across Scotland, but further rain across Orkney and Shetland. And temperatures for most in double figures. A muggy start to Tuesday morning, but a bright start, plenty of sunny spells, any overnight showers starting to fade away, and then it should be another lovely day, plenty of hot sunshine. But again, into the afternoon, 1 or 2 thunderstorms are possible. Most places missing these, lots of dry weather, lots of sunshine, and temperatures most likely peaking around central southeastern parts at 33 degrees.
Today's outlook: cool, calm and completely horizontal. Boxed Aircon sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The A898 northbound Erskine Bridge is closed for weekend roadworks. The M8 junction 30 off-slip to the M898 has diversions to manage traffic. Motorists on the M4 westbound between junctions 45 and 46 should anticipate delays due to inspections. A serious incident at the M4 eastbound entry at junction 13 in West Berkshire causes significant delays. And on the trains, passengers with Avanti West Coast and London North Western Railway face disruptions between Watford Junction and London Euston, with reduced service between Bedford and Bletchley. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
We want to send some of those monthly financial stresses packing this August with your chance to be mortgage or rent-free for 12 whole months. We'll give you a cash lump sum that equals 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to an amazing £20,000. We'll also throw in an extra £5,000 on top of that for good measure. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact that Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Good morning. The government announces more foreign criminals will be deported before any appeal.
Criminals from 23 countries will no longer be able to delay deportation by appealing against the decision.
The Home Office claims it will stop 3,000 offenders from gaming the system, clogging up our prisons and dragging out appeals.
However, as former Justice Secretary Alex Chalk has slammed the move, he's warned rapists and violent criminals could walk free on taxpayer-funded flights.
Meanwhile, more than 1,100 small boat migrants have crossed the English Channel illegally since the new UK-France returns deal came into operation. GB News provisional figures show 281 people arrived on 5 small boats yesterday.
The Chagos Islands deal, it's now going to cost not $3 billion, but 10 times more than Keir Starmer claimed, now reaching £35 billion.
JD Vance has declared that President Trump will force Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky into direct talks to end the war. But he's dismissed claims by European leaders for the Ukrainian president to join this week's upcoming Alaska summit.
Hello there. The 4th summer heatwave officially beginning across parts of the UK. Find out all the weather details coming up soon.
Hello there, very good morning to you on this Monday morning. Thank you for tuning in to the programme and staying with us. We're with you until 9:30. Right now it's 1 minute past 9 and I'm Eamonn Holmes.
And I'm Ellie Costello and this is GB News Breakfast. Now, the government has announced that more foreign criminals will be deported before any appeal.
This is called the Deport Now, Appeal Later scheme, and it will see criminals from 23 countries no longer able to delay their deportation by pleas against the decision.
Well, elsewhere, it's been revealed by the Telegraph newspaper that Keir Starmer's Chagos Islands deal will cost 10 times more than he originally claimed.
Now, that amount is far higher than the $3.4 billion the Prime Minister has previously claimed this would cost. Earlier we spoke to the Shadow Chancellor, Mel Stride. This is what he had to say.
Well,
he was very interesting anyway, and if you'd have watched us earlier, you would have seen all that, but we just haven't got it available. However,
we do have GB News' Home and Security Editor, Mark White, with us. Very good morning to you, Mark. Tell us a bit more about this Deport Now, Appeal Later scheme.
Well, it's a scheme that the government hopes will get foreign national offenders out of the country quicker. We know, of course, that foreign national offenders, through their legal counsel, through human rights charities and others, have managed over the years to frustrate the efforts to try to remove them from the UK, often not just for months, but for years, and then at the end of it actually have got a successful outcome. The government wants to try to toughen the rules around that. So if someone who is released from prison and then it's decided that they should be removed from the UK on the grounds of them not being conducive to the national good, then they will be removed, and any appeal against that decision that they want to mount will have to be mounted in that third country. And, you know, countries now, including Australia, India and Canada, added to the list, making 23 countries where those who may be from that have committed an offence and are excluded from the country can now be part of that particular deal. Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, says that it is got to be welcome. It's another step in trying to ensure those that are ultimately damaging to the country are removed from the UK as soon as possible.
Mark, does it matter what we think or how long it will take to fight? I mean, because what happens to the European Court of Human Rights throughout all of this? Because one would expect they're the people who are going to hold their hand up and say, no, no, no.
Sorry, what do you mean, does it matter what we think?
Well, we can't overrule the European Court of Human Rights, and if we do, we're going to be in soapy bubble.
Well, that might well be true, but the decision is to get them out of the country. Clearly, if that decision then goes against the UK, it would be self-evident that that individual would have to be brought back. But the hope is that they won't be brought back, and at least for the time that process is underway, and that process could be underway, as I just said, for years. At least we are not having to foot the bill to keep that person in this country, and if they're deemed to be a danger to this country, they're out of this country.
Yeah, I understand that, Mark. Mark, thanks for putting us in the picture. Appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed.
Now, at 5 minutes past 9, it's time for the Great British Giveaway and your chance to live mortgage or rent-free for an entire year, plus have an extra £5,000 in your bank to play with. And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you, you can still enter this competition and we'll give you £15,000 in cash if you win. Here are all of the details that you need.
We want to send some of those monthly financial stresses packing this August with your chance to be mortgage or rent-free for 12 whole months. We'll give you a cash lump sum that equals 12 of your monthly mortgage or rent payments, right up to an amazing £20,000. We'll also throw in an extra £5,000 on top of that for good measure, because why not? And if you don't have a mortgage or rent to pay, lucky you. We'll give you £15,000 tax-free cash instead. What are you waiting for? Lines will close on the 29th of August. For another chance to win, text WIN to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text BONUS to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB15 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 29th of August. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Subject to talk about now. Fewer than a fifth of UK businesses are actively recruiting people who have been offenders. There's a growing skills shortage, of course, and this is according to research by DSA Connect that warns of a lack of job opportunities for former prisoners.
Yeah, and they say it's actually driving reoffending numbers up. So does more need to be done to get ex-convicts back into work? Well, we're now joined in the studio by former prisoner and social campaigner Winston Davies. Good to see you, Winston.
Good morning.
Are you surprised by this, that only a fifth of companies are employing ex-offenders?
I'm not necessarily surprised by it. I think the public perception on employing ex-offenders is, don't touch them, it's going to be a problem if they come, they're going to steal, they're going to cause us a problem. The reality is this: I am a former offender. I got trained up and changed my life and worked tooth and nail just to do anything I could to rebuild my life. And I think my experience is that if you give people an opportunity, people will take it, more than likely will take it. And you've got companies like Timpson's, you've got the Redemption Roasters, a great coffee shop that started in the prison in 2016 and now got 13 outlets in London employing ex-offenders. It makes business sense, but more business needs to be aware of the benefits to it. And I think that the government should be given grants or some kind of tax subsidy.
Push this and encourage
to encourage
it. Winston, we're not the same people, you know, at 20 than we were at 10. We're not the same people at 30 than we were at 20, and so it goes on throughout life. But just to get a chance, once you've got a record, it's very, very difficult for people to see you in a different way.
100%.
So given a choice between 2 or 3 people and he or she's been behind bars, I think I'll not bother, I'll not take the risk on that.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people would think. How important is it to get that chance and try and reinvent yourself?
1,000,000%. So that's why there's an initiative at the moment called Ban the Box, and it's basically taking away the have you got a criminal conviction that then is talked about later in the hiring process, so people can look at your experience and skills of who you are first, and then later on, if that is a factor, then they can weigh it up, because too many times you go, right, you've got a criminal conviction, you can't get a job. I faced that when I first got out, couldn't get a job, I worked for free. I'd done a month for free, and after a month I was like, mate, I've got to pay you something, can't not pay you. So it takes a certain kind of person to go through that, you know? Go on.
Just hold that thought. We're going to come back to you because we're going to speak to a government minister now, and that's Alex Davis. First of all, Alex is a Justice Minister, so we'll say hello, good morning to you, Alex. Alex, tell you what.
Good morning.
Hiya. This scheme that we're talking about what's it called, Ellie?
The Deport Now, Appeal Later scheme.
Explain that to us. How is that going to work?
So this scheme currently operates in 8 countries where we have agreements in place where foreign criminals are deported back to their country of origin and they can appeal directly from their country of origin rather than remaining here in the United Kingdom. We're extending that today. We're trebling it, in fact, from 8 countries up to 2023, because we feel like that is what's best placed for that foreign criminal to be able to hear that appeal from their home country rather than staying here in the United Kingdom. However, this is the second part of our announcement this week, where we're also going to be deporting foreign criminals immediately on sentencing, and they will have no right to ever return to the United Kingdom.
Can I ask you, as a Justice Minister, on the topic of justice, and it is very important for not only victims but victims' families that they see their perpetrator behind bars serving their time. And what this deal in essence does mean that the country that they get deported to decides whether they serve their sentence in their home country. It could mean that they get off scot-free, that they're walking free the very next week. What does that mean for victims? I mean, that's an awful thing to think about, isn't it?
So we will be deporting these foreign criminals from the United Kingdom because we feel like they shouldn't be here in the first place. Being here in the United Kingdom is a privilege, not a right. And if you come here and you break our laws, then you will feel the full force of that action. You will be deported with no right to ever return. How it currently works under the previous Tory government is that these criminals would have had to have served 50% of their sentence in prison in England and Wales, costing the taxpayer £54,000 a year for bed and board. Now, we feel that's outrageous. We feel like they should be deported immediately back to their country of origin, not costing the taxpayer a penny, and not being able to come back here and hurt our citizens even further.
That sounds very reasonable. I think a lot of people would like to hear all of that, Alex. But what about the European Court of Human Rights? Surely they're not going to want to hear this.
Well, this is compliant with the ECHR. We have made sure that it is all of our obligations under international law are being maintained here. But we've also been very clear that where we feel like Article 8 under the ECHR, this is the right to a family life, where that is being applied for by certain individuals, foreign criminals, we feel like that is being abused. They are using spurious reasons to access that application, and we're going to be tightening that up, because we feel like it is, for far too long, certain individuals have been using that right and it has not been eligible to them. So we're going to be creating new guidance. We've outlined it in the Immigration White Paper that we need to be reforming the ECHR, and that is exactly what we're doing to ensure that these foreign criminals who have no right to be here in the United Kingdom are deported immediately and have no right to ever return.
Can I ask you about the Chagos Islands deal? Because there's been a lot of debate, hasn't there, and dispute about the figure of this deal and how much it actually costs. And in public, Sir Keir Starmer has put it at £3.4 billion. But there's a Freedom of Information request, and it's the front page of the Daily Telegraph today, that puts the true cost at 10 times that, at £35 billion. Has the government intentionally misled or lied to the British public?
No, and I want to be very clear with your viewers today that we do not recognise that figure at all. The Prime Minister has been forthright in saying that the true cost of this is that £3.4 billion figure. It is less than 0.2% of the defence budget, which is less than the cost of an aircraft carrier. And all of that in order to keep national security safe. The United States are on board with this agreement to make sure that we can maintain that military base on Diego Garcia for national security, and we think that is what's needed in order to protect our British citizens.
Right, Alex, I just want you to be clear on that, because we have had the Shadow Chancellor, for instance, on this morning talking about this and quoting about this, and these figures have come as a result of a Freedom of Information Act request. So are you sure what you're telling us is correct?
I'm very sure, Eamonn. The government does not recognise this figure. The stated figure that the Prime Minister has said is £3.4 billion over the course of the lifetime of this deal. It's around £100 million a year in order to maintain that military base on Diego Garcia, in order to maintain national security, and that is the true cost of this scheme.
The Telegraph today says this is an official document produced by the government's own actuary department, and it puts the figure at £34.7 billion.
And I've told you, we do not recognise that figure. The true cost of this scheme over the lifetime of the deal is £3.4 billion.
Is this a good deal for Britain? I mean, lots of our viewers asking this morning, well, the cost would be zero if we weren't actually handing something back to then lease it back for however much it costs.
for the cost of 0.2% of the defence budget of the United Kingdom, less than the cost of an aircraft carrier, we are maintaining that strategic military base in Diego Garcia, safeguarding the future security of the United Kingdom and ensuring that our allies, such as the United States, have access to that. We think that is the right course of action and the right deal to make.
Alex Davis, great talking to you today. Thank you for clearing that up. That will certainly get people, a lot of people talking one way or the other for the rest of the day. But thank you for your input. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you. Just want to say goodbye here to William Davis, who's with us, Winston Davis, sorry, who's with us here in the studio. I need my glasses on to see what the W stands for there, Winston. But basically, you know, we talk about people who need to be given a second chance in life. They're not being given a second chance in life. What would you say to employers, someone who has got a criminal record or particularly a jail record?
Look, it's on a case-by-case basis. As an employer, you've got to weigh up what you feel is at risk and mitigate that risk. But my message to them is, listen, if you're going to take a risk on someone that's been to prison and you believe, and you're meeting that person, you can see them face-to-face that they want it, give them an opportunity and see. I said most of them will run with it. And if you're a person that's coming out of prison, go for it. Knock on doors, call people up, put yourself forward, and you'll find that people out there will take a risk on you. You can change your life.
Winston, always a pleasure talking
Good
to you.
message.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank
you very much indeed. It's National Allotment Week. We're all big fans of allotments. What's their future? What's going to happen to them? We're going to be out and about and finding out. Maybe you've got one. Let us know if you have after this.
You've read the headlines, you've heard what those in power have to say. How about now we actually get to the truth?
They would pay attention.
We go beyond the political theatre and tell you what's really going on behind the scenes. For a massive council tax hike, one of the biggest in the UK. Others follow their lines, but we go off script.
You sound like a broken record. You say that week after week.
Cutting through the narratives and giving you unique perspectives. That's Ben Leo tonight, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 p.m. on GB News, Britain's news channel.
It's Patrick Christie's Tonight, and here we do things differently. It's explaining the absolute madness of this, doesn't it? It's explosive. I mean, this is very good. It's lively.
850. Your government sat there, Sean, and it did nothing.
It's controversial. And the Middle East has been in turmoil since before I was born. It's everything you need to kickstart your evening. Everyone's had their Weetabix tonight. I love to see it. That's Patrick Christie's Tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no,
Because the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m, only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Good Afternoon Britain isn't just about us. The wonderful thing about this programme is it's about everyone watching. It's an interactive programme.
Well, there absolutely is something to see here, and we're going to be talking about it more. Whether it's breaking royal news, please bring us up to date. Or indeed a particularly punchy speech in the House of Commons.
Very, very curious.
We bring it to you live, and then we bring you live reaction as well.
That's Good Afternoon Britain, weekdays from midday.
Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
This is Britain's Newsroom, where your voice matters.
It's just astonishing. With expert analysis and honest opinion, we don't just keep you informed.
We bring you unique perspectives you won't see anywhere else.
Can't argue with any of that. When the news happens, it happens here.
On Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 a.m.
Only on GB News.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
We want to finish our programme today celebrating National Allotment Week. It's a celebration which focuses on gardening, local activities organised by various associations and individuals that run these allotments. And right in the middle of one, our reporter Anna Riley this morning. Where are you, Anna?
Good morning to you both. We're here in Rotherham at the Hartley Lane allotments. You can see some of these beautiful flowers behind us that are growing. Plenty of plants. I've been told that courgettes are in full swing at this time of year as well. So plenty of people coming out and enjoying the allotment here. It's been here since 1911 and there's over 60 members, gardeners here that come and enjoy this beautiful outdoor space. I'm delighted to be joined by Mike Farrell. He is the chairman of the National Allotment Society. Good morning, Mike. Just tell us what this week's all about.
Good morning, Anna. This is National Allotment Weeks. We have a theme, which this year is well-being on allotments, and it's to promote allotments. It gets a lot of press interest. Next year, it's good to learn, and learning is good. So, as I say, we have a theme that promotes one aspect of allotmenting this year, being well-being.
And what is the joy of allotments? You mentioned well-being, physical well-being, mental well-being.
Yeah, mental well-being. Obviously, there's the physical health that you get through exercise and the fresh air, and then the mental side of it is the benefit is that you're not thinking about work or bills or things. You can come down, concentrate on what you're doing on gardening, and it takes your mind away from places where you perhaps don't want it to be.
And what do you make to Government Minister Angela Rayner approving the sale of 8 allotments across England?
Yes, it's a bit misleading as well. It wasn't actually that straightforward, but it has put the wind up a lot of people on allotments, and it's nice to be able to put the minds at ease. They're not under threat as such, but they are. We need to raise the profile of allotments and get more legislation tying the government, local governments, into looking after them.
And you said it's a family-friendly place as well. People of all ages come in here.
It is. It's where kids get interested in allotments. They love growing things. My grandkids do in particular. But yeah, it's a fun place to come. It's not expensive, and it's a good grounding for them in later life. Helps them all as well learn to look after themselves.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you. So it's fantastic to be here this morning. We'll be speaking to other gardeners here about the joy of the allotments, being outdoors, that mental and physical well-being.
Oh, good stuff, Anna. It looks beautiful there. Great day for it as well. Yeah. Thank you very much.
You could just imagine Andrew Pierce having something like that, couldn't you?
You'd have the prettiest allotment, Andrew.
There'd be lots of flowers.
There would be, I can imagine.
But good for your mental health. This
Very good. And I think it's really important because this government is selling off allotments.
Yeah. Angela Rayner.
Really, Angela Rayner.
I think
really
this is like social housing. Once they're gone, they're not back.
It's never back.
Yeah.
There's plenty of places
and I'll tell
to build
you, on
houses.
that point, Andrew, I was out and about. I like looking at show houses and things, you see. And I was out on Saturday and I saw this advert for new houses being built. And I went to where they were being built. Where were they being built? Right on an allotment.
No.
Shocking. They were getting rid. So I actually felt like I wouldn't have bought them.
No, on principle.
No.
There's plenty of brownfield sites to develop.
That's right. And lots of people live in flats, have no hope of a garden. This is people's only chance of growing flowers. Well, lots to come from us, including in-depth discussion of the new driving test rules. Should over 70s face eye tests? But also, what about reducing the blood alcohol limit and all sorts of other changes? So very interesting stuff.
Very politically contentious if they go down this route, the government. Pensioners are already fed up with this government because of winter fuel and the rest of it. So if
we all need
told
more
you
testing.
to lose the keys to your car, that's your independence.
First of all, your weather.
Have a good one.
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Box Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello there, good morning. Welcome to your latest GB News weather forecast from the Met Office. And it's a bit of a north-south split in the weather first thing this morning. Quite cloudy and damp across northern parts of the UK, but plenty of sunshine across England and Wales in particular. There are a few mist and fog patches through this morning. They should clear, and then generally for most it will be a dry day, plenty of sunny spells. The rain across Northern Ireland, Northern England will become increasingly confined to northern parts of Scotland as we move through into the afternoon. Still 1 or 2 heavier bursts possible across the Highlands here. Temperatures around 17 to 19 Celsius, but elsewhere feeling hot in the sunshine, the high 20s to low 30s, and that could potentially spark 1 or 2 thunderstorms as we move through into the evening time, something we need to keep an eye on. But that band of rain still giving some outbreaks of rain across northern Scotland through the evening, 1 or 2 heavy bursts possible, but elsewhere across Scotland, plenty of sunny spells, temperatures in the low 20s. Similar picture across Northern Ireland as well. 1 or 2 showers perhaps possible. Largely dry across England and Wales, but an increasing risk of 1 or 2 heavy showers or thunderstorms across the southwest. Just stay tuned to the forecast. There could be some localised disruption from this, but most places will stay dry. They will push slowly northwards as we go through the evening and overnight. Again, most places dry, but don't be surprised if you just get woken up by the odd rumble of thunder across parts of England and Wales into perhaps Northern Ireland too. Generally dry across Scotland, but further rain across Orkney and Shetland. And temperatures for most in double figures. A muggy start to Tuesday morning, but a bright start, plenty of sunny spells, any overnight showers starting to fade away, and then it should be another lovely day, plenty of hot sunshine. But again, into the afternoon, 1 or 2 thunderstorms are possible. Most places missing these, lots of dry weather to come, lots of sunshine, and temperatures most likely peaking around central southeastern parts at 33 degrees.
Today, clouds overhead. Total zen within. Boxed Solar sponsors the weather on GB News.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Good morning, this is the latest AI travel news from gbnews.com. The Erskine Bridge on the A898 is closed both ways for essential weekend roadworks, with significant slip road closures and clearly signed diversion routes. In Wiltshire, a broken down vehicle on the A419 northbound caused 1-lane closure. Meanwhile, on Surrey's M25, a broken down vehicle between junctions 5 and 6 means 2 lanes are shut, causing delays. And on the trains, Avanti West Coast and London North Western Railway report significant disruptions between Watford Junction and London Euston, affecting Bedford and Bletchley. Stay up to date at gbnews.com. For more travel news, go to gbnews.com.
Crash Law 24 sponsors GB News Traffic and Travel Report.
Martin Daubney, weekdays from 3 p.m.
Rafe, I'm assuming the notion of dropping Winnie to replace him with a tranny fills you full of repulsion.
Yes, I personally, as a Churchill historian, would love Churchill to be on the notes permanently. But yes, this is just part of this continuing war on our history that we often discuss on this channel. It's a long war, and it's just basically another attempt to gradually, or not so gradually actually, erase or rewrite our history. And the imagery on banknotes, on our passports, and the coins and stamps and all those sorts of things, they've traditionally always served to inspire pride in the nation. And those are really powerful symbols of our sovereignty and our identity. And it speaks a lot to, of course, to the changing fads and this desire we now see by our institutions, including the Bank of England, to create a new British identity, which is completely severed from the past.
I wonder, Rafe, we've had this conversation before. I wonder if a lot of this now is starting to feel a bit deliberate. Like, they know that Winston Churchill is worshipped and adored as one of the greatest ever Brits. They know we cherish the Union flag. They know we cherish our national anthems. Is that specifically why you think they're targeted?
That's precisely why it's being targeted. It's just that's what this is all about. The Bank of England is just part of this long march through the institution. The Bank of England, remember, in its new Bank of England Museum, well, it has a permanent exhibition on slavery. And we need to understand that the elites who control our institutions bear no comparison to the generations that occupied those institutions. They're cuckoos in the nest. They're embarrassed by Britain's history and its historical figures. And what these people used to understand love of nation, and they've replaced that with national self-loathing.
GB News, the People's Channel.
Good morning, it's 9:30 on Monday the 11th of August, live across the United Kingdom, Britain's newsroom with Andrew Pearce and Miriam Cates.
Now, Britain is expanding its Deport Now, Appeal Later scheme in a crackdown on foreign offenders.
The government says that this particular scheme will prevent, they hope, the number of foreign national offenders who stay in this country, not just for months, but sometimes years, appealing the decision to remove them.
And familiar story, migrant mayhem. More than 1,100 small boat migrants have crossed the Channel since that much vaunted new deal with France last week. Meanwhile, the government has lost track of 150,000 people who've come to Britain on social care visas.
And can you read the number plate of that vehicle in front of us, please, the Mazda?
KC05ZMS.
Yes, the government has announced a road safety strategy shake-up, while drivers over 70 could be banned from the road if they fail compulsory eye tests.
A weekend of unrest as more than 500 people were arrested at protests in central London organised by the proscribed group Palestine Action. Proscribed, they've been declared a terrorist organisation. Almost half of those arrested were over the age of 60. Some were in their 80s.
I care not how they think and how they feel about my note, because the note only applies to them, and they are scum.
Yes, that shopkeeper was left in shock after police ordered him to take down a sign calling shoplifters scumbags. And now shops are being warned, don't share pictures of shoplifters, it breaks data protection rules.
Dear. This sounds familiar to me. White pupils being left behind in our schools. The Education Secretary, Bridget Phillipson's just noticed, apparently, white working class pupils are being written off, and she's vowed urgent action to fix the national disgrace of poor school results.
Well, is that music to your ears, Andrew? Because dairy farmers are playing jazz to their cows to relax them, boost milk production in the latest online trend.
Apparently the cows especially like the music of the Glenn Miller Band, which was 1940s, as I recall it, because I think he was lost in a plane, wasn't he, in the 40s or 50s. But apparently it calms them.
There you go, and relaxed cows produce
more milk.
I've heard of people playing music to their unborn children, apparently. Babies can get a taste for Mozart, but it's a new one on me, the cows. Well, I wonder if they'll put a special label on the milk.
Yeah, you wouldn't play your unborn baby Wagner's Ring Cycle, would you?
No, probably
not. Might be
not.
a bit too stormy, but interesting idea, isn't it? Well, we all know, as always, what you think. Send your views, post your comments by visiting
gbnews.com/your say. But first, here's your 60-second news update with Sam Francis.
Very good morning to you from the newsroom. The top stories this hour. Well, the government is ramping up deportations, adding 15 new countries to its Deport Now, Appeal Later scheme. Home Secretary Yvette Cooper says it's time to stop criminals from exploiting our immigration system. But the Conservatives claim Labour aren't serious about deporting foreign criminals. Reports this morning suggest that 5 journalists may have been killed in an Israeli strike near Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital. Israel, though, has defended the action, alleging the journalists were Hamas